Attention, please be advised. The following episode contains spoilers. Don't say we didn't warn you.
They go try to save Blue. Blue is like the main asset, and they capture
Puts
and all
the
that.
dinosaurs in the basket.
Oh.
Nerd On.
How's it going, boys and girls? Welcome to Nerd on the podcast you didn't need but
Boys
deserve.
and girls.
Where all levels of life forms are welcome here.
Even clones?
Okay.
Yes,
Did you just
because
assume our audience's genders?
Wow, how dare
Life
you, Tom?
forms?
Boys and girls?
oh,
Easy.
well, I expect them all
And
to be
everyone
children.
in between and beyond the
Yeah.
spectrum.
This is a
You're
for kids
welcome here,
show.
too.
This is for kids.
This is like I'm expecting 7 and younger to be listening only.
I hope
Rated G.
not, because
Yeah,
I
this is
swear
like a Saturday cartoon for me.
sailor.
This is rated. This is rated less than the movie itself.
Yeah, it's fucking
Maybe,
kids.
maybe. But
Bruh.
anyways, we're talking about Jurassic World today, Fallen Kingdom. You know, it's movie madness. We're continuing the madness. But before we got started, this episode is brought to you in part by our patrons over at Patreon. Thank you for helping our show, supporting us, making sure that we can keep running this boat.
Without you, we literally would still be doing this, but it'd be way harder.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
So everyone
be
at
near
home
as
that's
good.
listening, if you like what you're listening to, please head over to nerdonthepodcast.com or nerdon.tv. Check that out.
And if you're already a patron, tell your friends.
And-
They probably
yeah.
like it too.
Yeah, and if you don't, then create new life forms in your own image and
Yeah.
then make them do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like all
Spoilers,
of
by
my
the
jobs
way.
are slowly being taken.
There's no jobs here. Just fun.
It
Just
used
fun.
to be that Tom would go, Josh, do the business.
No.
Yeah.
And for like 10 episodes, I did the business.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, people are like, fuck you, Josh, I'm doing the business.
no,
And
it's just
like,
that we all like the
We
business.
take
now.
turns. Yeah.
It's more like the business.
This should
the
be an
bi-
exciting thing for you, Josh.
It's more like the business
We're all-
is an infinity stone.
We're all
and I'm
fun
just-
employees.
Yeah,
Fun-
we're all fun
fun-
employees.
yeah.
Um,
No.
We're all frenemies.
So I'm Josh.
Yeah, let's introduce our hosts.
You just did.
Hostess.
I'm Corey.
Hostess. I am Tom.
You're Tom.
I'm the hostess, Caitlin.
No, Twinkies.
Oh,
Hostess.
I don't like this.
I am the hostessiest, Ali.
Here we
my
go.
God.
Oh, wow.
Hostess, yes.
We did it, guys.
Just
Here
when
we
you
are.
think
We
we
made
made
it this
levels.
Here
the
we are.
epic, the hostess.
We're
We made it.
2 minutes in.
I was gonna say it only took us like
And
2.5
if
minutes.
you haven't turned it off by now, today we're going to be talking about what?
Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom. I said that already.
This is a mess.
Way to go, Ollie. But yeah, spoilers,
We're doing
spoilers. So pause the episode, go
It's
watch
playing right now
7,000 movies.
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like in theaters near
Also,
you.
you
Yeah.
should probably watch
Worldwide.
Land Before Time before you watch this movie, and then go watch
Land Before Time.
because good dinosaurs.
It's to set up the context
How
for
about
this
watch
movie.
Jurassic World 1
Yeah,
and then this instead if you're gonna watch another movie?
That makes
Yeah.
more sense.
Mhm.
Makes a
I
little
mean,
more sense.
that's-
If you watch
nice,
Land
too.
Before Time, you're going to sit through like 50 movies.
Be like, where's Littlefoot?
and you're gonna be like, and then you're gonna be
Where's
like,
Petrie? I signed up
I
for
love
Petrie.
You said
Anywho,
Triceratops.
we've
Like,
got-
Sarah. Oh, that's not Sarah.
slightly scarier dinosaurs to talk
Yeah.
about today.
So, as we do with our movie episodes, initial reactions, people. Initial reactions. What
Who's
do you guys
first? You're
think?
first.
So yeah, for me. Did I watch this alone? No, I did not watch this alone. I watched it at my local theater with hashtag Movie Pass shout out. Not sponsored by, not yet, and I don't think so anymore. But
Gotta get those surge prices.
yeah, seriously. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good popcorn movie. Again, it's not an Academy Award winning film. I think
Mhm.
if anything, it'd probably be a CGI nominated. If anything, like how most summer blockbusters are. But you know, it was something I could just eat popcorn and enjoy it. And I thought, in terms of characters, it did better than the first one did.
Mhm.
Because I think even though some of the characters are one dimensional, they added depth to that one dimension instead of adding a second dimension.
Now it's
to
like
it.
1.5
Yeah.
or 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
No, still one.
But
just a
little-
bigger one.
Yeah. It's like one pull, but it only
It's
goes
like,
like 1
when you
foot deep.
type one and then you're like, "Ooh, I'm gonna add shadow effect." That's
or
what they did.
italicized bold.
Or bold. Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I
The
enjoyed,
Photoshop guy's laughing. Thank you.
I enjoyed it for what it was. Caitlin, get good at this.
Oh, you know what? We should have done guess that grump before we did initial reactions.
We'll
right?
do it after this.
We'll do it after this, yeah. It was suspenseful. I don't like watching movies that purposefully make you feel suspense by myself.
I don't like watching movies, Caitlin.
Hey now. Anything that's scary or is like super thriller
Fake
where there are
news.
those tense moments. I don't like watching it by myself, but I did for this one because
Proud
I
of
was
you.
like, "Gosh darn
High
it,
five.
I'm gonna watch it."
I should
High
let me
five.
know. I
Shah.
went by myself as well. We could have
Gosh,
gone together.
dang it! Communication is key, everyone. Just know that in life,
Only we had
communication
tiny-
is key.
Tiny little computers in our pocket.
And I
where
wouldn't
we
have felt
could
as weird
communicate it
screaming in the
I
theater
know.
by myself.
But yeah, I was like edge of my seat, every muscle tight the whole time, or at least bare minimum.
You know,
like
there's
good
one
workout.
that, you know,
of
there's
the
one
movie.
muscle that's always tight, even if you're relaxed.
The inner sphincter.
It's the fulcrum of your whole body.
So it was good, yeah, Ollie.
So you liked it?
Yeah, it's great, Ollie. Please
I like if
help
you look
me.
at the waveforms, there's silence for about 2 seconds.
Good content, guys.
It is the
Good
best silence.
content.
The best, it's suspense.
Ollie,
Yeah. Ollie,
Ollie,
suspense.
save us.
I thought it was actually really good. Like I was really impressed by it. I think, and I made a point to go to like a really big theater, good sound system, all that stuff.
Mhm.
I was blown away by a lot of the imagery.
Mhm.
I was sad to not see very little, if any, practical
Mhm.
dinosaurs. I don't think
Because
we're-
that's something they
but
told
I don't think there was anything in the first one either.
No, and that
Was
was
there?
a big issue.
Well, I think
and
the
so
only
this one was marketed as, "Hey guys, we're going to do more practical effects."
Yeah,
I think the
Which
only
is a low bar because any practical effects
Would
would
be
have been more.
right. So there might have been a couple
Oh.
things here and there.
I think the only practical they might have used is probably the Velociraptor
Yeah.
in the truck.
And the Indoraptor over her bed is practical as well.
But I think
Indo.
it did
Ugh.
a better job
That's what I
at
said.
being like the sophomore movie of like a not a reboot, but like a resurgence.
Okay.
And I'm drawing very strong parallels to like Star Wars.
Okay.
Because like I feel like it did
So
a
this is the
better,
Ryan Johnson. of
it
the
did a better job as a second film
Mhm.
than
Yeah.
like The Last Jedi. I feel
Okay.
like it actually moved the plot forward
Mm-hmm.
and it brought some really interesting concepts into it.
Mhm.
But mostly I just really liked spending time with the characters and seeing what everything looked like, and just there's a lot of really great shots. Like we'll go over like favorite parts and stuff like that, but there's some really, really good looking like imagery in this that I really appreciated.
A lot of
And
good.
mostly in the first half. In the first half, but
Except they just
yeah.
don't use that theme.
Except they don't use that.
They
thing.
did a few times.
The
but
piano one.
it's underneath.
Subtle.
Yeah.
No. It's I have to go watch it again. I can't remember the
How
exact
about
moment.
your initial reaction?
I agree with Ali. There's a lot of beautiful imagery in it. A lot of parallels between Lost World, I think.
Mhm.
I wasn't. I'll be honest. It wasn't my favorite.
Mhm.
I guess before we even started, Corey is going to be the Grump.
You guessed that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just I'll get deeper into it. I liked what they were attempting, and I think it was a good risk to take with a franchise that's kind of done a lot and been around since the early 90s. But it missed a lot of the marks for me. I had a lot of great moments where I laughed out loud and felt really suspenseful, but for me, I'll be honest, once they hit the mainland, I leaned to my wife and predicted everything that was going to happen.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'll
Boo.
say that. Yeah, like it definitely was a little predictable. That was a little disappointing. Yeah.
So for me, that killed the suspense because I was like, when things would happen, I'd be like, "Yep, sounds about right."
Yeah, I mean, I'll say like to kind of sum up my reactions. It also wasn't my favorite
Yeah.
movie, but I think it's. I mean, we'll get into it more later because I think it might spoil the who's the Grump. But
Well, if we hurry up, then we have Josh, and then we can do it. Ollie.
fine. But yeah, go ahead.
Josh.
I liked it. I thought it was fun.
Yay!
It was a popcorn eating movie. It was what it was.
It's Chris
it was
Pratt.
the 5th Jurassic Park
It's
movie.
Chris Pratt selling.
It's not
selling
Jurassic Park
seats.
1. To me, it's never going to be that. So to me, I walked into it and I was like, this isn't going to be as good as those, but
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
That's what I want. It's one of those things that I walked out of it going, you know what they introduced, it took 5 fucking movies to get there. Cool. I wanted what they presented. And so I really, really enjoyed it.
Mhm.
Of course, any movie can be picked apart.
Yeah.
Any movie.
Even
The Dark Knight.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Uh,
And so before we get into it all, I do want to introduce the thing that we've been
Talking about?
playing with all day. You
Oh my
know,
God.
tickling the little sensitive areas of our bodies. That's
Tom, why?
because
Why do you always have to take it to that
it's
level?
provocative. It's what the people
It's
want.
It's not
called-
provocative.
Guess that grump.
Wow.
We need an actual interstitial now.
Yeah.
Josh, get on it.
If someone wants to make us some music under a segment called Guess That Grump, we would love you forever. for
And
it.
if it's anything
Here,
like
I'll
music,
give you a clean. Guess that grump.
there it is. Do what you will with that.
So we thought about this as a cool segment that's kind of like it could be a staple for anything that we kind of do any ratings for. And what we're gonna do is go around the horn, around the room, and say who do we think is gonna have the lowest rating for the film.
Do you want to
or
start us
whatever
off,
it might be.
Tom?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Corey or Ali.
No, you got to guess one. That's not fair.
One.
You can't say Corey
Oh,
or Ollie.
It's gonna be probably Corey,
Okay.
but I'm probably gonna pick it apart more.
Josh?
I think it's going to be Corey.
I pick Ali.
Automatically.
I pick Corey.
We're not allowed to pick
You
ourselves.
can't pick
Ollie.
yourself. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen,
So that's
and
That's
everything in between.
3 for Corey, 2 for Ollie.
Yes.
Got it. Cool.
But yeah, so moving on to our next
This'll be good.
segue of
And
the,
also, don't let that influence
No.
how
No,
you
Because he
score.
could be like,
No.
motherfuckers, I was playing with you. It's a 5. He
Yeah.
won't.
If there was a
But I was
cash
playing with
prize for
you.
getting it right, that'd be something else.
Yeah, there's no prizes here. Just to be honest.
points don't matter and prizes don't
I
matter.
can give you a
Yeah.
cough drop.
We should write it down before.
I mean, whatever.
That'd be fun.
Um,
And like flip them over at the end.
so brief synopses as a little bit of history of the film.
Yes.
So life finds a way. Jeff Goldblum bookends the movie.
Except that he wasn't even in the movie.
He bookends it. He's just the opening
But
and
that
then he's
line
the ending, and that's it.
wasn't
And
in the
no,
movie.
I mean that's the problem with Hollywood. I mean, Spider-Man, they're not dead. Go save them. It's never in the fucking Avengers movie, but no one gives a shit. Anyways, so
I
Chris
give a
Pratt
shit.
gets recruited by Bryce Dallas Howard, and Bryce Dallas Howard is doing her San Junipero or her Black Mirror with the cell phone thing again. And
What?
has to say
What does that mean?
Wow.
the opening of Black Mirror,
Making
the
references
first
on
frame
references.
of Bryce Dallas Howard in season 3 of Black Mirror.
It's her holding
she has
copies.
she has a
and
phone.
She has a phone. Yeah.
And it's like, wow, could you guys get away from that shit? Anyways,
No.
no heels. So that's a
They
plus.
made a point, by the
Yeah.
way. There's 2 shots of her feet in the movie
You know
to be
what I'm
like, look, we didn't put her in heels, guys.
So she got to go recruit Chris Pratt for rich old man to save the dinos because Isla Nublar
Well, he was John Hammond's partner until they had a falling out,
for some unsuspected reason. Foreshadow.
or
Uh,
some reason you suspect immediately and tell your wife.
And so they go to the island and they go with people just like in Lost World. And they get double crossed just like Lost World. And they go try to save Blue. Blue is like the main asset, and they capture her and all that.
dinosaurs in the basket.
Oh. Oh my God! I never
Or else it
thought of
gets
it
the
that
Caitlin,
hose.
do
way.
you know that reference?
Yes, I do.
Do you know
That's-
why?
Because that's the guy. That's the actor.
So the
who's
guy
hunter.
who plays him
Yeah.
is the guy from Silence of the Lambs.
It puts the dino in the basket.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the
Or it
island
gets the trank again.
the island falls apart. They sneak onto the boat with the
Would
assets.
you trank me?
They find out this young douchebag
Yes.
that they meet at the mansion is actually trying to sell the dinosaurs for a profit so they can make more dinosaurs.
Kinda
By-
like Lost
Because
World.
they never learn.
Kinda
because-
like Lost World.
Yeah, just like Lost World. And then BD Wong is like, I'm building new things. And then so they get
Who
back to the
strangely
mansion.
has more integrity than
Then
the
he
other
didn't
bad
last.
guys.
I know. It was,
I don't know.
And then they go back to the mansion, and it's hijinks of Toby, what's his name?
Jones.
Toby Jones doing the auction thing.
With big ass fake teeth.
And then they show the
Big-ass
new.
fake
Right?
teeth.
Like distractingly big teeth.
I got to make this brief, guys. You're not making it brief. You got to do the new Indo Velociraptor thing. It's white, little
Indo.
toy. Indo, INDO.
Mm-hmm.
Not Endo, which I think would have been cooler if it was Endo. Because it could have like
Endo
a
life.
Potosaurus or Stegosaurus stuff on it. Anyways, we do. At least we could cool. Anyways, and then hijinks goes loose, but we all know Blue's gonna save the day. Blue saves the day, and then you find out this little girl who's the old man's granddaughter is actually his daughter cloned, and
And
then
that's what they had a falling out about.
they-
Don't clone human life, said John Hammond.
only Dino Life. And then
Yeah.
there's a point of like, do I do this? Do I do that? Felt like a video game. Do we let the dinosaurs die after all
and
this
then
toxic
Blue's
thing?
like, I'm gonna come with you. He's like, yeah, come with me. And she's like, wait, no, you put me in a cage, bruh. I'm out.
Peace.
Yeah.
I learned. But then the clone
She threw up her
girl
claw like a peace sign.
makes
it,
the
like,
decision
mouse.
because she is like them of an artificial life.
Yeah,
so I was like,
so
that
Their
was-
life
I
is
thought it was
just as
cool.
important as the regular life, just
That-
because they're a clone. She didn't say any of that.
No.
That's Mewtwo.
She
And then
implied that.
she presses the button and they all dinosaurs get released into the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then it shows this long montage
About
of
15
dinosaurs. in the
dinosaurs
world.
that can easily be wrangled back up.
Yep. No, 11,
11.
because that's how many species they saved.
Okay.
But that's the movie. So now that you're done with the spoilers, go watch the movie now.
Anal eyes.
Anal
They
eyes.
saved 11 species, but there was 3 pterodactyls.
It's probably more dinosaurs, but 11
Yeah,
species.
they
Yeah.
11
More
species, but
quantity.
yeah,
It was
there's
Norman's arc.
multiple.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anal eyes and analyze.
Mhm.
I know we compare it. I know we say we compare it to the franchise as a whole, and Jurassic Park is obviously
It's
very
part of the
much that
franchise.
franchise, but it's a very different feel. It's not even. I mean, to be fair, they did rebrand it as Jurassic World,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
meant to be a hey, that chapter's kind of
well,
closed.
it's like looking at Star Wars, the prequels trilogy, and then the original trilogy.
Yeah.
They also kind of melted that old world, so
Well,
the park got all
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
melty.
in-
There's still
to,
4 other islands.
to Ollie's earlier comment about Star Wars and this being a better sequel, and it felt very Ryan Johnson-y in terms of like
Mhm.
everything that you thought was being built up, fuck that,
Yeah.
destroy it, destroy the island, no more island, baby.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park, it's no park, it's a world. It's a
Uh-huh.
world, baby. And so they were like, finally, you wanted dinosaurs in the real world? Here you go. No more park
See,
crap.
that I'm actually kind of excited about.
So-
The idea of them maybe flash forwarding like 2 or 3
years later.
years.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I think to me that is its strongest point was that this film. I mean, you can't recreate Jurassic Park. You can't recreate the magic. You can
That was
attempt
my,
to do so.
that was what I
No,
was
no,
thinking
no.
about going into it, because all the negative reviews, which I think are a
Right
little
now
bit more
it's-
negative than they need to be.
Yeah, right
but
now it sits at a 50 at Rotten Tomatoes and sits at 770 million worldwide. So
yeah.
regardless if it's critically panned, it's going to make enough money to make a.
But what I was
trilogy.
thinking is, I was like, what do you want this movie to be?
Perfect. Everybody
know?
needs it to be perfect, or
well,
else
no.
we can't like it.
But what
I-
is perfect?
I disagree
You
with
know?
that.
Sorry.
No.
But what is perfect? Like, what is?
Yeah, what is
you want a
perfect?
shot for shot
Yeah.
recreation of Jurassic Park 1 with better CGI and better
Yeah.
new actors? Like, what can you make that is going to make you feel like it's better than Jurassic Park 1?
I mean,
And,
maybe.
and it's a loaded question because
yeah.
Yeah,
it's not
you
something
just
can
can't do
answer.
that.
It's not possible. So, like, for
It's
me,
like
it's
how to
like,
make a Batman show that's better than the
I
animated
mean,
series.
You gotta
actually,
move on.
to be kind of positive, I do believe it's potential that somebody could be like, I got this fucking script for a Jurassic World movie.
Mhm.
We watch it and we go,
that's true.
oh, holy shit,
Yeah.
that was really good.
Could be the
Because I
Dark
mean, I
Knight
know
of
that
Jurassic
Jurassic Park
Park.
1 was so good. We loved everything about it.
Right.
Reference back to an old episode of our Jurassic Park trilogy episode.
Yeah.
Pause this
we-
episode now to
we-
listen to it.
We gushed about the original trilogy, and it's one of those things I still believe that but I believe that about everything. We can't keep holding things to
Yeah.
the standards of what they were because it doesn't allow for things to
There was one thing that
happen.
didn't take me out of the movie, but I was like, I really need this to happen for me to feel like they're restoring that feel of
Yeah.
wonder. Because like the first one has like this great sense of wonder. We talked about it a couple episodes back.
Yeah.
Like when the girl scientist gets out of the car, the girl, the paleo.
She was
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
veterinarian.
She was awesome. Paleo
I know her
veterinarian.
name is Daniela Pineda.
because that's a thing, right?
She.
But here's the problem that I had was when she got out of the car and she saw the brachiosaur or whatever for
Yeah.
the first time.
Uh,
I wanted her to be like amazed or like I wanted her to be like emotionally impacted.
She was. She
Yeah.
cried.
she had a little
She
lip
cried.
A
quiver.
little bit, yeah.
She cried.
Yeah.
But she was like,
But you're
it was a
talking
little
about
more-
like how they reacted in Jurassic Park 1, where they
Yeah.
like,
Well,
like he literally
awestruck.
falls on his
like,
ass.
that would
That-
have been the
that's-
parallel.
that's a matter of pacing in terms of cinematic quality.
Yeah.
Because this is like, to me, when that happened, I was like, this is great. This is like when they stopped,
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
when they use the theme.
when
That's the one time.
they used it for like,
Oh yeah,
a
for like
fraction of a
fraction of a
second.
second.
and that's why I did not like about it is that the moments that I think to your point of like where they tighten the grip, they're at the base, and then the pitcher threw the ball, and then they missed where it was like they stopped. I was like, they have no real reason to stop.
I was just gonna hold my hand
Okay,
up.
you're gonna
This is
hold
what
your
I
hand?
do.
Okay. Josh is holding his hand, and sometimes we're like, "Are we gonna pause the episode?"
Well, because
We don't
there's 5 of us,
know.
Yeah.
and we have to be mindful.
We have to pin it. So they stop the car. They're trying to. We're gonna go get Blue. That's my girl, Blue, boy, Blue. I don't know if Blue is a guy or girl because I
It's a
think they mix it
girl.
around.
It's
They're
a
all
girl.
girls.
He literally calls it "You're my boy, Blue,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Yeah, that's I don't know what the hell this is." Anyways, doesn't matter. They stop the car in the middle of all this stuff to see this thing, and then you see it shaking. It's like, oh, it's a T-Rex. Is it a T-Rex? Because I'm so scared.
Mhm.
And then it's this, this arcing shot. It's supposed to be like very reminiscent of the first film. And then the girl cries, and then like Chris Pratt's just doing his, one-dimensional look, and then it's whatever, right? And then Bryce Dallas Howard has her like a little redemption of like, oh, she actually is a character. But they truncate it real quick. They just like end it like, all right, back in the car, let's go. And it's like, in the first film, it's they're experiencing the park for the first time,
Yeah.
and so there's like this very calm sense. It pauses the momentum of the film. This one here, like it's not really a pause; it's more of a speed bump. We're gonna just mull over it because it's kind of like we have to. But
off the list.
I'm happy that like they included it because I feel like it's something that it needed, but just do it a little bit longer.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
like
the only bit of wonder we have in the film.
give it some breath. Give it some breath. And
Well-
that's a pacing thing.
Well, what I wanted to add to this is that this is Jurassic World. Dinosaurs already exist.
Mhm.
They know this. There is no wonder.
I
No,
mean,
there
in my-
is.
in
I
my-
mean, her whole thing is she studied her whole life to be a paleo veterinarian and never seen a dinosaur. That's one of the first lines she says.
No,
So imagine, studying audio engineering your entire life and finally goes, by the way, here's what the setups are, and show you
Mhm.
your first computer, your first setup, these things you've been studying your whole
Yeah.
life.
I think a better
So there is
analogy
wonder.
would be like, hey, here's Hans Zimmer's and Junkie XL's studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, not to squash that, but there still can be wonder. It's just not the same kind of.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is that it's not gonna be the same kind of wonder as again Jurassic Park 1. They had this is what they've been studying.
That was
They've
the
been
first time.
studying fossils, and like to actually see one. Like, wait a minute, this is a mind fuck.
Mhm.
These are actually in front of me. Whereas this, it's like, well, I know that I could see it someday,
Mhm.
and now I'm seeing it. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really stoked that I'm seeing that. Whereas again, compared, they hadn't really seen it.
Yeah.
They've only seen like maybe 3D models or maybe like fossils built up. It's like
But it was also, I think, it was almost like a meta thing as well, where
Yeah.
it's like it's giving the audience a chance to like react and kind of take in the wonder of seeing a dinosaur on screen for the first
Yeah.
time or whatever it was, like in that like realism or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I think there's something to that too, where it's
Yeah.
like now we're kind of a little jaded on that, and it doesn't matter because
Yeah.
it takes like 12 minutes to render.
all right,
a
dinosaurs
dinosaur.
back.
Yeah.
Kind of.
There,
In a way.
Speak for yourself.
there's one more note that I want to touch upon before we get into favorite parts, and I think it's kind of just to think about like how this fares as a sequel, and then what does it do for the franchise. And I mean a franchise as a whole, because for me, as it's a sequel film, it's for sure a sequel film. It's
Yeah.
not. I find sequels that don't stand well by itself to be good sometimes, but this is a sequel and it's a sequel and it's a sequel. Like in its DNA, it's a sequel.
Yeah.
So it's a sequel.
It's a sequel.
Cool.
It has sequelitis all over it. But the main thing I would say, like I liked it as a sequel so much because it dared to take a risk. It
Mhm.
dared to make the franchise something different.
Yeah.
What's
like,
that?
To put dinosaurs in our world, to not make it about a
You mean
park.
how they did like 20 years ago in Lost World?
They
I don't know
did
if I
it.
would count that though. That
Yeah,
feels like it
with
was
San
like
Diego?
a tacked on.
They
but
brought
I
them there,
think-
but then
yeah.
they put them back right
Are you
back.
talking about leaving them out?
Yes.
Yeah, that I
They
agree
did the
with.
sitcom thing with Lost World.
That I agree
That's
with.
what I don't agree with films.
Yeah.
With films, they shouldn't be like Law and Order, where it's like, dun dun, we're cops, and there's the bad guy, and then we get the bad guy, and then there's the court, and dun dun, we're still cops.
Well, you know what
It's
I
like,
really got?
who
Like,
cares?
I got a really heavy sense of like Resident Evil in that second half, where I was like, this kind of feels like I'm playing Resident Evil or Alien Isolation or something
Mhm.
like that,
Mhm.
where it's like I'm just going through this mansion,
Mhm.
and then like when's the giant crazy dinosaur gonna pop out? You know,
Well,
so
yeah.
and that's one thing. Like they really dialed up the horror
Mhm.
aspects of this, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
And there was even
I
like
don't-
kids
I
next to me
didn't.
that were sitting, and I was like, they're gonna be afraid of this scene.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I
Yeah.
can
Totally fine.
confirm those children were afraid because
Yeah.
I was.
You'll have to. I mean, maybe we can spend a portion of this convincing me because I think this was a huge misstep in the
Interesting.
franchise.
We'll get to the comic qualms.
I'll go into it more on that, but I think
there's some merit too.
I think the ending. I like the idea of a movie with dinosaurs out in our world, and we've had to quote unquote adapt to that, right? Life finds a way. Like we all find a way to live with dinosaurs in our world somehow. But I think I'll keep this short. Everything leading up to it was a giant misstep.
Okay. Let's go straight into Kwame Qualms then.
Maybe you
Sure.
would like.
I can tell you.
You want to go straight into it? You want to
Corey,
start it?
just make it
Yeah.
happen.
I'll make
Tell
it
us
do
the
it.
thing.
So-
We'll pop off?
I mean,
Pop off.
okay, so right off the bat, the opening is conflicting, right?
Okay.
So you have.
So, I mean, talking about with the guys who are stealing the...
No, I loved that.
Okay.
I thought that was very true to the franchise.
That reminded me of...
That whole opening scene.
That reminded me of Shoot.
If the rest of the
That was
movie was like
exactly.
that,
100%.
100%
Yeah.
perfect sequel to Jurassic World for me. If the whole was more
okay.
that vibe,
Okay.
I would have been more into it. The issue is after that.
So...
The next thing we see is Ian Malcolm. They
Mhm,
bring
at
back
the court case, yeah.
they bring back a franchise favorite,
Uh-huh.
right? For me, that's like top 3
Mhm.
right there. You got Dr. Alan Grant, Ellie Sadler.
It's the
fucking-
Trinity.
Yeah.
You got Batman, you got
Malcolm.
Superman, you got...
You
Wonder
bring
Woman.
back this character you've told your fans to trust. And he's sitting there going, we shouldn't save these dinosaurs. It's a huge mistake. Leave them be. It's our fault. We fucked up.
Uh-huh. The D
And this is the
instinct.
consequence.
Mhm.
We have to leave him there. So
Uh-huh.
initially, as an audience member, I'm going, okay, he's got a great point. He's Ian Malcolm. I trust him.
Well, I mean, he's the same character. Like, to your point, your qualm of like Lost World. I'm just quantifying and adding
Yes,
upon.
no.
I'm not knocking, but,
But
he hasn't
To
developed.
amplify what
No,
you're
he
about
hasn't
to
developed.
say.
He hasn't developed.
But
If anything, he's become more
my
more
issue
grim.
wasn't that he was wrong
Uh-huh.
ever.
But
He
you
was
have
right.
you have the answer right there.
He was right the whole fucking time.
Before you get onto your way, I think you're gonna say, I think to accent what you just said,
Italicized.
to us, Ian Malcolm is still a main character
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
franchise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Proceed.
Right.
Okay.
So you bring out your main character and you say we shouldn't do these things. Your hero, you bring out a hero, and you say we shouldn't save him. You go, okay, and I have no problem with people switching, but he's there, and I go as an audience member, I go, great, we shouldn't save these dinosaurs. The next scene is Bryce Dallas Howard, a character I didn't care for in the first Jurassic World.
Because she was written terribly.
She was written terribly. She didn't care about her nephews the
But go on.
entire time. The next thing you see is her going, we should save the dinosaurs, and you go, okay,
It's a conflicting ideology.
I don't trust you.
Because you
And
already screwed up the first movie.
Within that same scene, she calls a senator, says we should have lunch to talk about that, and then turns around on the TV to
And
see
see
that they
the-
just got out to announce that it's
the ruling.
ruling is out. And I was like, okay, so what was the point of the phone call then?
Yeah.
She doesn't know what she's doing.
I think it's supposed to show that she has now more like because in the first one she was just a scientist who was like her eye.
And I get
her
that.
eyes.
And they could have done that without the phone call. That thing threw me off a
that
little
to
bit.
me those are called ham-fisted expositions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So then
Dark Knight Rises.
you meet up with Owen, another character who hasn't developed since the first film. He's out there building shit again.
It's the same frame.
Yeah,
It's the same framing.
It's the same scene. Who I get has an attachment to Blue, and I get would go, but like yes,
So for me, I didn't even get an attachment to Blue because I was like, you don't have an attachment to Blue. Blue just listens to you.
I don't feel like he would have gone
Only
as a character.
through this film, I felt like, okay, he has an attachment to Blue.
Yeah,
So to me, that's what the sequel did for me. I was like, okay, I kind of.
I dig
It
that.
showed you a
I
little
dig
bit of
that.
Yeah.
I get that they had to bring a tech guy, but I don't think they wrote it well. I
What?
don't think they wrote that character well.
Are you kidding
All
me?
he does is he's
Yes, it's a
essentially
qualm.
useless throughout the whole film.
Do you have a qualm with
He
this
does
qualm?
great things on the computer, but
He's a crybaby.
he essentially, if
I
he was
loved
6,
him.
like one of the kids in the first film, it would have
I
made
did
more
too.
sense.
If he got
Dare
shocked
I
by
say-
10,000 volts of thunder and then also made a joke.
He's a
Dare I
child.
say-
he's not a child. Oh, that guy, yeah, he's a child.
I didn't love his
I forgot.
deliveries of things, and I feel like
What?
I wanted a celebrity comedian.
Okay.
well,
or
I
some-
think
like a
it
Vince Vaughn.
would have been cool if it was like a Taika Waititi kind of actor.
They also
Something, yeah, to make me actually like laugh out loud. I'm sorry if I'm breaking your heart.
It's fine. I'm just gonna
I
be
get
quiet
that
for now.
they explain he plugs in cables in the first scene, but it's never explained why he's the one out of the entire organization.
And why they couldn't hire
has
a
to go.
military person to just do that.
Yeah,
It's the Michael Bay problem.
right. Why they bring the guy?
We got to get the world's
the peace
best
activist
oil
hacker.
riggers.
the peace
Deep core
activist who
driller.
doesn't want to be there at all, and complains the entire time. They could have got someone who is well equipped to be in those situations if they're paying millions of dollars.
So you
to
don't
send a
like how the
rescue
characters
crew.
are coming together.
I loved the vet. I wanted more of her.
Yeah,
Daniela Pineda.
she was awesome.
I wanted 100% more of that.
She
character.
well to me
she
the
was
moment,
the Ellie Sadler of this movie.
well I thought she was more of the Alan Grant
Okay, sure.
because she every time you hit the table.
It doesn't fucking matter, Tom.
I mean, she had the wonder, she had the admiration for the dinosaurs, and then she, for the first time seeing them, you know.
Yeah, she gave me more of the Ellie Sadler vibe because she had those moments of shut up and let's work. I get what you're saying, but like we have more important things to do right now.
Gotcha.
I don't think this entire movie did anything to sway me in favor of Bryce Dallas Howard's character.
Interesting.
In fact, I think I cared less for her by the end of this movie.
Wow.
I'm
opposite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
me too.
She didn't expand as a she's very vanilla. Like you said, they're very one-dimensional characters, and I think I just needed a little more
I was
of
talking about Chris Pratt.
who she. Both of them. No, I mean both of them. Chris Pratt had the redeeming quality of funny moments, right? So he had the blood in my mouth and just going, because that's the reaction I would have.
Yeah.
If someone asked me, "Is the blood in my mouth?" I would just go, it's good. You're good. The Indominus Rex, it felt
You mean the Indo?
whatever.
Okay.
My issue is that
The new freak of the week.
that's not why. To me, that's not what Jurassic Park is about. It isn't about inventing new dinosaurs to terrorize people.
In a way, I would say, like, to quantify, it's not
fine
what
with the
Jurassic
one.
Park is,
Yeah.
but that was all what Jurassic World was.
Right, and it's fine if
Right.
it's a
It was
one-off.
interesting
Great,
if they used that again.
it's interesting, but like
Now it's the thing.
the second time around, I was like, great.
Mhm.
Okay, so we have another big thing that you invented that's going to get loose and destroy things.
It's a new toy.
I didn't like how when he did the slide and the thing is jumping at him, they showed it 3 times.
What slide? I don't
I saw
remember
that.
the slide.
So he
I noticed it.
slides when she points the gun at him, Bryce Dallas Howard
Mhm.
presses the button, and the thing
Oh.
jumps at him. They showed it 3 times.
Oh, they Guardian Galaxy action sequenced it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that pulled me right out of the
I was like,
moment.
that was a choice because you had to render that dinosaur 3 times.
Yes,
Yeah.
at 3 different angles. 3 different angles.
Yes.
Boom, boom, boom. And to me, that it was very anticlimactic.
Mhm.
I get that the dinosaur needs to die, but it was just like suddenly happened, and I was like, oh, I guess that's done now.
Well, the tough thing with the Indoraptor, and this is me a qualm, you created a fucking
Perfect.
like predator ass T-Rex
yeah.
that had Spinosaurus, Chameleon, Mewtwo, Alakazam, DNA in its shit. And I'm like, blood, how can you go even harder than that? And then all of a sudden it's like, yo, this is like a direct
He's like
descendant of it. I'm like,
smaller.
I guess to me, I would have liked it if like this was like naturally birthed then by a Velociraptor,
Yeah.
like kind of like an alien sequence, you know, where like Ripley had like a human alien hybrid. I'm
Well,
like,
they-
oh,
Well, you're touching on some stuff because
On your stuff?
those were some concepts.
yeah.
Yeah.
There were concept art leaked and like people were livid.
Um,
Well, I mean,
Oh.
They did
my
not want
my
that.
last thing I'll say here before we pass it around. I have more, but the ham fisting of the making the audience sympathize with the dinosaurs
oh,
over and over again through torture, through the brontosaurus
Apata.
scene, dying at the docks. Like, we all go to see Jurassic Park. We're already sympathetic to the dinosaurs off the bat. It's the reason I didn't like them torturing the dinosaurs in 2. It's not. You don't need to trick me into being
they just need to add Sarah McLachlan at this
sympathetic
point.
to the dinosaurs. I'm already there. So
Like if they played "I Will Remember You"
Yeah,
when
exactly.
the Brontosaurus was dying.
100%.
Arms of an Angel. So the over the head like feel bad for these dinosaurs. They're just animals who are being mistreated. It doesn't do anything. It makes me not enjoy my experience because it's not something.
It's interesting because I had the opposite.
Well, to me, also,
I need it.
I'm gonna. It's not like I want to. It's not like I'm cutting your credibility, but
No, you
also I
can't.
know more about you because, like, so I think I'm a fucked up human being. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I like watching fail compilations. I like see people's bones break
Oh.
and shit. You don't,
No.
and so like,
Mm-mm.
it's not that I take enjoyment out of seeing lament, but there is different audience points and different lenses that we're looking through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so me, I like watching people getting fucking pummeled by soccer balls or like crashing into a car. Like that's to me kind of funny because they lived. This one here, I'm like, I think it is like if my heart was a violin, they're like pulling on that shit real hard.
Mhm.
And I was like, my God, let it end. Fucking kill it off because I don't
I
want
can't
to.
do it
Well, here's-
anymore.
But it wasn't like
my issue isn't that they did certain things; it's that they did all of it. If they had
What do you
been a
mean?
little more selective with feel bad for these dinosaurs,
Mhm.
like if it was just the one scene on the dock,
Mhm.
great. But then you've got multiple
shot
scenes of these
blue.
dinosaurs being,
running,
they
pounding
shot
over each
blue.
other.
They tranked
they
a
They're
lot of
shocking
them.
they're
all of them.
shocking them in the
They're
cages.
shocking
They're
them
all tied down.
constantly.
Once they're let in, they're gassed.
Well, I
Like
mean,
it for me, it was. I got it.
Painful.
in some
got it.
in some lenses, you could say it's the PETA people who are like, fucking don't be mean to animals. But I know what you mean. I get what you mean. It's over the top for you.
It was too much. If
Yeah.
they had done one or two of those things, I get it.
Yeah.
You want to tell the story of like, hey, this movie's gonna make you feel bad for the dinosaurs. Great, but it was for me, it was over the top.
Well, I mean, and I think again, it's in its DNA a little bit because it's tough because it's CGI dinosaurs, and
Mhm.
how do you feel sorry for CGI things sometimes? I don't know, ask Disney. But
Mhm.
I think that's why they did it. Not saying it's a good reason, but I think that's
No, I get
Method
why
in the
they did
madness.
it.
Yeah.
I just didn't like the execution.
That's fair.
I
So
have
now-
more, but I'll leave it at that for now.
Josh, you cool? Or you want me to go?
You go.
Okay. For me, off the bat, right at the beginning, right when Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard are talking in the bar, what I found most interesting about this film was that the cinematography was meant to make you supposed to be on edge. There was a lot of like rhythmic cuts and edits to it, so that you felt like, oh, move here, move here. It feels right. And the DP tried really hard, director of photography tried really hard to make sure that this felt like a ride.
Mhm.
But he did that shit, or she did that shit in the bar, and I'm like, I don't need you to cut every goddamn like word out of their mouth. Like Chris Pratt would say 2 words, and then it would cut to Bryce Dallas Howard, and it would cut 2 words and go back to him. I'm like, dude, they're not like Mission Impossible. This is not James Bond.
The
Like
cuts are
I need a
happening
beer.
like dun,
they're
dun,
in a
dun,
bar,
dun.
and this is the most boring bar you could probably shoot because they don't show the bar. So how would you know if it's a cool bar, right? Like it literally starts from a low end track shot that moves up, goes to a single over shoulder, single over shoulder, single over shoulder,
Yeah.
and then ends when she walks away, and then down from a low angle track shot. I'm like, how about a 2 shot? How about just them together to show the relationship on one end of the frame
That's
to
not
another?
exciting, Tom. Come on.
No, but it tells a story.
Yeah.
Which I think that was some of the issues with the choices that they made with this film, because they don't rely on their characters to tell the story.
Mm.
They rely on the shot
Mhm.
and the emotional pathos, not bathos, pathos, like
Yeah.
pathology of you feeling sad or feeling mad or blah, blah, blah. Here's this, bad guy who's in a suit like all fucking 90 villains are.
Yeah.
But I mean, and another my issue is like Chris Pratt. You're supposed to be the lead. I feel like you're channeling some Indiana Jones, but you're not there yet. Like, not saying like he's not as good as an actor, but I'm just saying like the writing is just not to the point where like I feel like I know why he does what he does, other than try to be cool. Like there was one part that really got to me was like when fucking the nerd dude was like, "Oh my god, it's so hot," and then he's like, "It's gonna get a lot hotter."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "You might as well."
That's right after the Brontosaurus.
You
scene.
might as well turn that camera around and show his face and just do a Zoolander ass like blue steel. I mean, I love cheese. If you go cheesy,
Yeah.
go all the way, baby.
Go Fast and the Furious with it.
Yeah, live a quarter mile at a time.
I had an
Live a
my
quarter
thing was
mile at a
that,
time.
like-
Is that a line?
Uh,
my problem with that was that he didn't like the heroes were not in control very often. Like they were.
Mm.
It was almost as if like he didn't have an opportunity to be a hero or to evolve his character in any way, because it was like he couldn't make any decisions.
Yeah.
Throughout.
and that's the thing. It's
Neither
not,
could John McClane. He was still a hero.
No, John McClane made some decisions.
Yeah.
he called some people.
They were in the
Same.
moment,
Yeah.
but they were decisions.
That's true.
Who's John McClane?
He's from
Die Hard. That's
Best
Bruce.
Christmas
That's
movie
Bruce
ever.
Willis.
I'm sorry, I just blacked out.
Merry Christmas.
What?
Who's
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Josh, you know what to call her. Call it.
You
I-
uncultured swine.
Proud of you, bud.
wow, it's the first.
But for
Sorry.
in terms of
I hurt you.
rest of qualms, yeah, I mean the ending was pretty fucking predictable. But my stupid bias, my madness, and my methods is I could care less how it happens. It's more, or less what happens. It's more how it happens, and it happens very A, B, and C. Like fucking Indoraptor. I'm like, "Oh, we all know Blue's gonna save the day. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. But like,
Yep.
Did
it
we?
happens.
Yes.
Oh, I for sure knew. Come
We
on.
did.
I'm
You
not.
I did.
I'm not
You saw
saying,
Blue
Did you know?
escape.
You know Blue was gonna save the day. Yeah.
See, I didn't.
That's okay.
But then I mean, you
And
also
you're
thought
welcome here too.
you also thought
Aw,
Rick
thanks.
Dickerson
I didn't
was going to be
predict
the
But that
anything
doesn't make
about the
you-
girl.
Hey now,
Really?
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey now.
There was a chance.
I was like, I was with the little girl. I was like, which main character from a previous movie was?
Did
her
you
mom?
notice all the shots of hers are the same as the dinosaurs?
I mean, not in the moment. No.
There was actually a part of me that thought
She was part
that-
They
dino.
zoomed into her eyes, and I was like, should I have seen something? That's what I
No.
was thinking.
It's the way
I-
they show the Velociraptor eyes.
I thought that like they had made the new dinosaur with some of her DNA, and that she was going to be the mother,
mom, too,
the
yeah.
mother of the
I
Indoraptor.
thought that was going to happen. I was like, ooh.
That would've been
Yeah.
more
Gonna be
interesting.
That would have
maternal
been because
animal husbandry.
when the Indoraptor interacts with her for the first time, all it does is like swish her ponytail. It doesn't like it's like raw afterwards, but it's only because she screams, and it makes sense because it was a sound thing later. So I thought it was being like, "Hey, mom."
Like alien
Hey,
resurrection.
Mom.
But yeah, I mean, those are mainly my qualms. I don't know. I thought it was good where like bad guy. Oh, we'll talk about favorite parts later and all that shit. But I mean, I thought like it was good that like bad guys died and they died terribly, which they deserve, and then not many good
I agree with
people
that.
died at all. Actually,
Everybody always gets their comeuppance.
which
That's
is
what
I think it's a trope of the Spielberg, Lucas, Zemeckis
And the horror
era.
genre.
Yeah.
That bad guys should die very terrible, just their
Just like
desserts.
like the horror genre, like the virgin never dies.
Yeah.
Because she's never done
Mhm.
anything bad in her life.
yeah, obviously.
Quote
Yeah.
unquote.
But just 'cause-
obviously.
yeah, because you're a virgin makes you a good person.
In the horror genre, it does.
Obviously.
But no, those are pretty
You're
much
in a
my,
Wes Craven film.
those are pretty much my qualms. Also, no, they had no John Williams thing. I was a little pissy about that.
Yeah.
I was a little pissy because I'm just
No,
like,
I
oh.
agree with you. I just knew you were gonna say it, so I didn't bring it up.
Yeah.
I have a few more I can keep.
But Joshy Josh,
Jajois.
It's really hard because, like I was saying earlier, it's like I hear your guys' qualms and I'm like, I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I had a fun time. It was entertaining. Like I've said a million times
So
on
did
the
I.
show, when I grew up, if I go to a movie, if it entertains me, that's it. And that sometimes that clouds it. And I'm like, I entertained it. Or it entertained me.
You entertained the movie.
I
entertained the
entertained
movie.
Chris Pratt turned. He was like, "Nice."
Stops it.
If we
right at the camera.
the next level in Russia, you entertain movie.
Oh my
so
God.
Exactly.
we've had before this episode, we've had conversations of what because we always joke about our ratings not really meaning anything,
Mhm.
but our qualms
Just me and
introduce.
Corey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our
Just the two of us.
qualms are why we wouldn't give it a 5.
Mhm.
And so if
Yeah.
I had to pick, so would I?
Well, don't give your rating now.
No, because
Spoilers.
I'm talking
he
about
could
my
say,
qualms.
You
would
don't
I
know
give
to
it a
what
5?
degree they're going to
Would
affect
I
the score.
Would I give it a 5? No. But the reasons why I wouldn't is because it was a little boring at some points where I
Yeah.
was kind of like, okay, it had kind of like
It dipped for a little too long.
it dipped a little for a while, like in the middle of the movie, and I was like, I felt like it was 2 different movies.
That's one of my qualms. Actually.
Amazing Spider-Man syndrome.
Yeah, it
Got
was
it.
like, here's Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom Part 1, and then Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom Part 2.
I might have actually liked it more if it was 2 parts. To be
Yeah?
honest,
And developed both sides.
Ooh.
like
Like-
if part 1 was on the island and
Are you
part 2 was
guys, are
once
you
they
guys,
came
are
back.
you guys locking eyes from across the room?
Yeah.
Boom,
Maybe.
Somebody
down,
batted their
down
eyelashes.
the drink
Yeah.
of the music.
Ollie and I just had a moment.
So I felt like both sides of the ship, like either like the mansion part could have been developed more because I did like
or
it,
the island part.
or the island. Both could have
Island
been
and the ship.
developed. They
Yeah.
could have been developed more. The ship part was just kind of like,
Did you feel like it was like because they tried to fit it all in? It was a little like, all right, now we're doing this thing. Okay, now we're doing this thing. Okay, now we're doing this thing.
Jurassic Park 3.
Well,
syndrome.
I
And then
thought-
once they got to the mansion, they're like, what are we doing?
yeah, what are we? Oh, we're selling dinosaurs. Okay. No, it's funny because when I got out of it, Bonnie and I both went, wow, that was a long movie, but it didn't
Yeah.
feel long to me.
Yeah.
And I guess that's, to me, that's kind of a win.
Yeah.
It could also be that I'm a child.
Man-child.
A
Same.
man-child. I'm a big man-child.
Caitlin's a
And
man-child,
I was
too.
like,
Yep.
dinosaurs. Yay.
Dinosaurs.
Yay, this is fun.
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. But there were, I mean, I did call the Indo-Raptor
Shout out to Mr. Dino.
Rapper?
kind of
The Indo-Rapper.
the Indo-Rapper. But I did call the blue thing.
Yeah.
When it started kind of
Blue saving the day.
yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of
Tom
Kaylin,
keeps
Kay-
darting his eyes
Kaylin,
at me.
Kaylin, if you watched Die Hard, you probably would have guesstimated it too.
Yeah,
Just
a
saying.
raptor
What's-
saves the day in that
Yeah,
movie.
when the Velociraptor in Die Hard comes out
yeah.
and
That would've made
kills
sense.
Hans Gruber.
If you just probably watched
Man.
like half the movies I watched, you probably would have
Yeah.
guessed it too.
I
We'll
kind
get
of
there
felt like
one
that
day.
was a huge flaw of the movie that you almost saw it coming from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because you knew that kind of even going into the marketing of the movie, you knew blue was going to be a big part of this movie. And it's like, who's going to save the day? It's going to be blue.
I just
Well,
remembered a
everybody.
very large qualm.
Well, do you remember in the trailer they show Blue getting shot on the island
Yeah.
and then it's back alive in the
in the
mansion? And I was like,
Well, you knew. To me, I knew it was a trank.
I think the
No,
marketing was terrible.
In
for
the
this
in the
movie.
trailer, I knew
they
for a fact it was a
they
trank.
show it being they show Blue being shot
Yeah, they showed
like in the movie with a bullet
with the like the
in the
low-
second trailer. I
like
believe.
Oh,
the
yeah.
undershot.
It's fine. I mean, dinosaurs could
With a
take a
gun.
hit. Dinosaurs
then-
could take a hit.
But it reduced the dramatic tension.
Yeah, I was like, and now that's where he gets shot. Okay.
There's a qualm.
Yeah.
Okay, so the scene, it's real dramatic. It looks like
A
they
wild
shoot.
qualm appeared.
A wild qualm appeared.
Ultra ball. Forgot to
they
give it a berry.
they shoot Blue, and it kind of looks like, oh my God, Blue's gonna die, is gonna die.
Wow.
And then by half an hour later, they're doing the surgery, and the bullet's in its leg, and it's just like it just takes her a couple.
Yeah.
But they made it look like it was shot in the chest.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
like this is life or death, guys.
Well,
Who's gonna die like right now?
If you get stabbed in your artery in like your inner thigh, you will die.
It was just the presentation
I know,
of it.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you're like the final operation scene
Yeah.
was like
Weren't they holding the stomach too?
yeah
Yeah.
It was Lost World
What?
too.
He wouldn't have like kicked back like he did. He would have
Lost
like
World.
yeah
my leg, motherfucker.
You dick.
guys.
So
What?
so bullet trajectory is it?
Bullet
Yeah.
trajectory.
It's my
We got to
call.
analyze.
Is
We
it
gotta
what-
analyze.
Apparently
It
was
in
the way that they
chest,
presented
did a
it.
U-turn and came back to the shoulder.
It was
We're gonna recreate. We're gonna get a life-size raptor. We're gonna get that red string that they use
we'll
in
shoot it.
Dexter.
Yeah. We'll do the ballistics. We'll get Mythbusters here.
Yep. Adam, let's do it.
Kaylin?
So a moment ago, Ali heard it. I remembered my largest qualm for this whole movie.
The
It was the
T-Rex.
little
The
dinosaurs.
biggest one in the movie. No,
Little
go ahead.
dinos.
It's the commercials.
yeah.
Whenever the Jurassic World logo would pop up, they had the theme, but yeah, it was that, but it was like really scratchy, horrific violins screeching all at
Like
once.
a horror movie.
Yeah.
And it made me so viscerally angry every time I
Wow,
couldn't
you're, like,
watch a
angry now.
trailer.
I can
You're
I'm
really angry.
very angry now. Like thinking of that sound makes me furious.
Yeah.
So that's certainly a qualm. I'm gonna dial it back a little bit now.
No,
'cause
that
I
was
know-
great.
I'm like
No.
giving
That
Corey
was some
shark
raw
eyes
stuff.
from
I
my
I can take it. Look, I can
hatred.
take it. I can take it. I was right there with you.
Yeah, it was really very upsetting. Wow, I can't even think of
On a
my
broader
other-
scope, I agree with the marketing not being
Oh
very
yeah, no, I had
doing the film. justice at
honestly
all.
no interest in seeing this film if it wasn't for the podcast right now. Just because that's why I
Oh,
didn't see the
dang.
other one. I was like,
Nerd
this
on,
isn't-
making you watch movies you don't want to watch, and I dropped my phone.
Well, no, and I'm
1994.
glad that I
couch, Tom.
I'm glad that I watched it, but
Don't hit the couch, Corey.
I do have some qualms aside from the horrific music in the commercial. The blood transfusion
Mm-hmm.
really like. Maybe I just don't know enough about
The
transfusions.
bull riding part?
But no,
When she rides the T-Rex like a bull?
I
Yeah.
wasn't really bothered by that. More of that, like
I was like, hmm?
how did she know that? Oh yes, as long as something with
'Cause-
2 to 3 fingers.
Well,
That's
Because that's her life study, and they use the same
I was
like
gonna say.
frogs for like the
Yeah.
crossbreeding DNA.
now it makes
but
sense that I'm less
also
bothered.
that's spore logic. All right,
Spore
carnivore.
launcher?
You know, Spore, the one video game where you can
Yeah.
make animals.
Yeah.
It's like one of the first big games you could play on a Mac.
Guess what I didn't do?
Play sport.
Yep.
Before
Uh,
EA was
Guess what
terrible.
she didn't do? Watch the first one.
Yeah, that's
Back
true.
when EA,
also.
that's back when EA was still like
Uh,
respectable.
What else? What else
That
Sport
doesn't
bothered
creator.
seem
me?
like a time that exists.
I don't
know what you're saying.
remember what you speak of.
No.
I felt
Anyways.
like everyone but Jeff Goldblum was an idiot.
Yeah,
Daniela Pineda,
I thought she was
I
great.
don't know what just came out of your mouth.
The girl.
the Hispanic girl,
Veterinarian, not a
she
veterinarian.
was-
She was the best. For
Dino
me.
Doctor. Just call it Dino Doctor.
she was
She's
fine.
not a main character, huh?
Dino,
But-
DNA.
She wasn't main.
I think
I
she's a
feel
main
like
character.
she was
No, she's a
crass,
character.
like not crass. Like she really seemed to enjoy putting herself in danger for no real reason. Like, yeah, get your own sample, but at the same time, it's like, are you really that chill with like getting shot in the face right now?
Yeah,
I mean,
she might be.
have you
To
seen
save the dinosaurs.
In-
I mean, she's an activist, right?
But also, like,
True.
there's nothing you're gonna. I don't know.
Did you
If
feel
it-
she was overly intense? Like,
I felt like she was overly intense without needing to because they could get the blood sample. They could overtrank the raptor to piss her off and potentially hurt it to hurt her.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right, but then they would lose.
They would die, and
They,
that
their whole
mission
operation is
Yeah.
about the raptors. So
It's
I
like
think A, she knows
Blue's
that they wouldn't
primary
do that.
and everything's secondary objective.
A, she knows they wouldn't do that, and B, she is an activist who has no problem making calls and standing up to
That's
people
true.
and that kind
But
of thing.
overall-
and she's been kidnapped, so she's kind of in a
Fine,
pissy
fine.
mood.
Let's
I
just
think-
shoot down every one of Caitlin's
Well,
claws.
no,
no,
I
not
love
everyone.
the movie. It's
But-
great.
Just the one. I
think
hated the movie.
to your
I
point,
still like
though,
it.
No, that's fair.
To your
But-
point, I think there is a bigger problem. I mean, we've gone over this before, where like Hollywood has made it so that like having a gun pointed at you is not a big deal in a movie.
Yeah.
Like the
Happened
hero
in
can
Seven
always be
Psychopaths.
as if it's not in their face. It's like if you
Yeah,
had a
that-
gun in your face.
I think that's
I don't
what
care
bothered
how
me.
heroic you are. You have a gun in your
That
face.
she was like way too chill with that. Way too chill.
I like your comment about the
If-
sock drawer though.
I would say
Yeah, the
then I would
Star Trek comment was
quantify it
good.
and say like, then like stakes are there, but they're not acknowledged.
Yeah. Like you have
That's a
like
good way to put it.
100 military men
everything
around
good
you
ways.
with guns and they can torture and kill you in a variety of ways. And you're just like, no biggie. It's fine. Fuck you. Haha.
Dino
Uh,
lives matter.
Well, I mean, yeah.
It was an actual
Uh,
poster.
But yeah, I felt like everyone, like the decisions they made, and especially like Miles. Fuck, I don't remember his name at all.
Nerdy dude.
Because I didn't care about him. Guy in suit who wants to make money.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, he was so unimportant to me that I couldn't remember his name.
He was a very 90s villain.
To me, he was super Disney.
That's a
Like,
really good way to
Di-
put
he
it.
was very
90s
Disney
villain.
princess villain. With the moment he
Yeah.
locked the door, I was like, "Whoa, he just
Yeah.
Disney princessed her, locked her in a room and left her there
she Disney
forever."
princessed her way out. She's fine.
No, she after Frozen Disney princessed her way out because she doesn't need a prince to save her.
Correct.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's
I was
true.
thinking more Jasmine, but yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
He's a
His
prince
like
slave.
justification for what he was doing and like everyone's justifications for what they were doing just I didn't believe it, I guess. Like I liked the movie as a whole,
It
but
was entertaining.
it was entertaining and
You
I
didn't
liked
buy the
it.
setup for it.
But I didn't I just didn't believe anyone. That's all.
What is life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the commercial makes me
Ollie
angry.
Oxenfree.
Yeah.
So I think where to begin? So this film had a lot of incredible little pieces.
Dun-dun,
Brad Bird?
dun-dun.
Brad Bird. Exactly. No,
Pause this episode. Go listen to our Incredibles 2 episode.
It's just a plug for every other
Keep going.
episode.
Pause this episode, become a patron.
like like the dinosaur being left behind on the docks, like that got to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
But I was amazed by the imagery of it.
Because
I've
the
said that-
smoke and then the
Yeah.
fire in the back.
And like
Yeah.
so and then there was like another shot of them like when they were first coming into the island and you see like the volcano smoke over like the low clouds. Like I was like, this movie is gorgeous. And then like in the very
The
beginning,
DP.
what?
The DP.
Yeah,
Makes
the DP did great job.
interesting shots.
The
Kaylin, grow up.
I can't.
Are you serious?
mastodon
I
or
never
whatever the
will.
hell that
I'm
what's that
supposed
big
to be in this.
dinosaur?
A
Which one?
Potosaurus?
The sea
Oh,
dinosaur.
Basilosaurus.
Whatever it is.
In the water?
Basilosaurus, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Basilosaurus or
So-
Plesiosaurus?
The giant thing?
When
It's
that
got-
was like in the background and it got lit up by, I forgot what it was lighting him up,
Lightning.
but was it lightning?
Yeah.
And then same thing with T-Rex, they were showing him by lightning.
Mhm.
Like that stuff was awesome. Like
Mhm.
I ate that stuff up. And I agree with Corey where if that opening scene like had trickled into the rest of the film, it would have been amazing. My problem with this movie was that I feel like it was trying to do too much.
I like how you do a little butt sandwich.
Yeah.
You have like a good and then a bad and then a good.
Well, it's got to set up context.
yeah.
So I'm going to tell you a little story, and this is true. And in fact, this might be interesting.
Long ago,
So-
when the pyramids were still young.
Like I want to say 4 to 5 years ago, I started to write like a fan fiction sequel to Jurassic Park
Jurassic Park
What?
1?
to like whatever was written. So
There
So
was
to
part
the-
of me that was
we're-
hoping
we're
you
calling
were
it
going to
Alan
say fan
Grant
fiction,
series.
and then when you did, it was the
The whole
to the Alan
I'm good
Grant
with that.
trilogy. It was 2 movies or 2 books.
Oh.
One of them, the first one, Jurassic Park Extinction. The second one, Jurassic Park Invasion.
And when do we get to read
Guess
these
what?
exactly?
I have a prologue that I'd be happy to post on Patreon.
That'd be great.
What?
You're like
Uh,
Patreon only.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it is literally like the first movie is some scientist comes up to Dr. Alan Grant and convinces him to come back to the island because the dinosaurs are dying off and he has to come help save them.
Wow. So that's like 3 and this one combined.
The second
It's
one,
William H. Macy.
the second movie or whatever would have been to save them, they have to bring him back to the mainland and then they break loose.
Yeah.
Then they
And
bring
that's-
Jeff
Oh my
Goldblum.
God.
So, and they bring Jeff
And Jeff
Goldblum.
Goldblum's like, go faster, faster, faster.
You're
faster.
kidding, but he would have been the main character of that, and he would have been like him and his family trying to get, like it would have been
Would have been
taking place,
Independence Day.
like it was going to take place during Thanksgiving, and they were going to go like try to get like a can of cranberries, like in like in Spider-Man.
Christmas movie.
But
Hire Shane Black.
Oh my god.
But then,
Those
like,
Christmas movies.
slowly they realize that there's dinosaurs, and it all hell breaks loose and all that good stuff, and maybe they go to a mall and have to like run away from something. I don't know, but that
would
was
have been like a Jumanji sequence in the Walmart.
yeah,
That would have been cool.
like that kind of stuff. Like that would have been the 2 movies. So I wanted this to be 2 movies.
Mm.
Because I feel like the danger, like I wanted Chris Pratt could have done so much more as a character
Yes.
if they were on the island the entire time.
First film.
If
Or
they
if
had
they
to-
written another.
And then what if
dimension.
the big betrayal comes at the end of the first film? Like they really do believe they're there to rescue dinosaurs through 90%
And
of
it's
the movie.
and it's a twist, not something that's shown
Once
to you
they
in
get
the
on the boat,
advertisement.
that's
Shout
when
out to
they
M. Night
figure out- or like right
Shyamalan.
before, then the blue
Yeah.
thing happens.
But they have to like part of it is that they have to survive and get to like a different part of the island or something like that. And Chris Pratt really has to like show off his chops, and Claire can develop a little bit as a character.
So your qualm with Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom is the fact that it's too truncated.
It tried to do too much, and it didn't have enough time to breathe.
We call that on the streets DTM.
and
doing too
to really explore the characters. Having said that, I did really enjoy watching the movie, mainly because I liked all the little segmented pieces that was
the moments.
the moments that string together.
I call that Snyder.
Exactly.
Zack Snyder from Justice League and Man of Steel, who he has great sequences, but they
And that
don't
will lead
connect
to
well.
and I'll save the rest of it for my gushing.
for your
I
Patreon.
want to build on that concept though of the 2 films because it is something that I walked out not being happy with. It's the same. I think it's part of the reason I'm not a huge fan of Lost World either.
Mhm.
Is you have this duality vibe of being on the island and then being amongst civilization.
Yeah.
And it's not enough of either for me to latch onto. And I think this may have done the same, kind of fallen into that same trope of Lost World, where once they left the island, I was like, I wanted more time there.
Mhm.
And then once I finally started getting them accustomed to being in the civilized world, it ended. And I was like, but I wanted more time there. Like
And
So I was like, this is the best Jurassic Park has looked in like
Yeah.
the island parts of it.
in
Yeah.
comic books, we call that creativity over continuity, where they have great stories or great parts versus an over an arc.
Yeah.
Instead.
And I really do think if they had split it, I would have enjoyed it more. My the last qualm I'll say here is there was a 10-minute window, I believe, where my wife and I noticed it was suddenly reference after reference after reference after reference. Did you catch that?
Which part?
So it's right after I'm trying to remember. It's when they're hiding in the exhibits with the lights out,
Mhm.
right? So you have the callback to like
The first one.
we got to reboot the system,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
So then once they
But
reboot,
also with the like displays and then how the Velociraptor sequence starts with.
well, they reboot the system. The lights come on. The girl escapes and she's stuck in this thing where
just like
she's
how
trying to pull the top down.
I thought it was gonna
And
be.
I
a
was
mirror.
like, oh, that's another good reference right there. And then they're in the bedroom and you see the shadow of the Velociraptor on the wall next to another dinosaur head. And I was like, that's another reference right there. And then it comes in tapping its toe again. And I was like, that's the 5th reference in like 10 minutes.
There's
you
also
guys
them
packed it all in.
Going around the statue,
Yeah.
like very much like the kitchen scene.
Like the car. So like I love references as much as the next person, but for me it was weird that it was so all of a sudden.
I didn't
Here's 10
even
in a row.
think about that once.
So
I didn't even think that was a qualm. I didn't have a qualm with that, but I did. I was like, oh hey,
I mean,
there's that.
It's not a qualm with the fact that they're referencing things. It was for me.
So into
it
such a
took you
short
out of the
period of
movie a little
time.
bit.
They didn't do it before or after.
Got
It was this weird sequence of
Little pocket.
like 5 or 6, and then it was like we're done.
so let's talk about that a little bit before we go back into favorite parts and favorite dinos and all that stuff. With that, I mean, in the industry is literally called 2 things: called homage or intertextuality. Intertextuality, and intertextuality is something that like Stranger Things is known for, where you only reference things that have happened in past media beforehand. In this film, it takes place of all of its stuff. A lot of industry heads or fucking critics worry about that because all superhero movies rely on that. They rely on things being said in other films. And that's why for casual viewers, they don't appreciate it. For something that is sprinkled throughout and not in one segment, it would be more considered as an homage, which tends to, again, homage sounds like honor. It honors the last films and stuff like that. And there is like a thin red line or anything like that, but it is a matter of like how well you want to take it.
Yeah.
Does it,
Yeah.
if you took it out, would you miss out on the movie? So like in Winter Soldier, when they say they're taking a guy named Dr. Stephen Strange, when people don't know who the hell that is, does that take away from the movie? Because that's part of information that Captain America is taking, right?
Yeah.
In this film, does it take away if they took out all those sequences? No.
No.
So does it border on that line of weaponized intertextuality, or does it border on like ham-fisted stuff?
It's a great
So
hypothetical,
it's
Tom.
interesting. It's a discussion point. Like, comment,
Yeah.
subscribe, be part of the conversation. Let's discuss.
And
Every time.
What did you guys all think about the twist
The twist, I loved it.
about the girl?
Well, I saw it from a mile away, but to me, this is what brings me part to my favorite parts. So let's
Okay.
segue that into favorite parts.
Sure.
Because
'Cause I didn't
again,
like it.
this to me was like, finally, it's something different. If
Yeah.
it was another movie about a park that's gone bad, I would
I'll give you
have flipped the table.
I agree.
If it was another
Question.
movie about like bad guys only being bad guys and then good guys only being good guys, like I would have
What kind of crazy shit has InGen done this time?
again, for me, I have biases like towards the DC films, as you guys know, and I'll defend certain things because it takes a risk. Whether it's well executed or not, it's better than fucking here's this cookie cutter formula that you know it's gonna taste good.
Yeah.
Like at least try to make
I
a
agree with
steak
that.
puree versus like here's fucking steak menu, here you go, and it's all good. But there's differences, right? There's things that's like, well, if you know it's gonna be good and you're gonna like it, then what's the problem with it? It's like, yeah, but then what are you doing for their franchise? What are you doing for film in itself? You're not saying anything if you're not adding on top of it. You know, you're only serving people what they want, and that's why everyone gets junk food because you know what they like. Versus you're not trying to educate them on what they should try to be experimenting on.
Mhm.
And so this, none of the films after the second one
Yeah.
have been part of books. And so this is a brand new franchise. This is to
Yeah.
me like a Star Wars prequels trilogy where it is going to get highly criticized
Mhm.
for whatever it does, whether it's good or bad,
Mm.
and then whatever.
Yeah.
But this at least tried.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we're gonna be comfortable on the park. We're gonna try it again, but BD Wong's not here. But look, it's probably BD Wong's cousin. Like it would have been the same shit.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't think that's what any of us are asking for.
Well, I'm saying like I like that. That's one thing that I really liked about it, the fact that this film, in the third act, did a lot of risk in
Mhm.
terms of like not risk in terms of shots, not risk in terms of story, but risk in terms of lore, risk in terms of what it does for the
Yeah.
franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I think the characters are the weakest part of the film. Macy is my favorite character. Because she was the only smart one.
It's funny since you normally hate children doing anything.
No, I hate children that cry about dumb things.
She cried.
She
She
cried.
cried when her grandpa died.
Yeah.
That's not a dumb thing.
But the other kids almost got eaten
But
by
the-
a T-Rex.
Yeah, or getting
But
Anyway.
alligator-
That's fine. That's
I think
fine,
I-
Tom.
But
I
I mean,
agree.
yeah, I liked that. I mean, and I'll bring it back to a comic book reference. The very end, when like
Of course you will.
all these toxins are about to kill all these dinosaurs, and Bryce Dallas Howard's like, "Yo, I learned these things should be extinct." And then Macy, who finds out she is a clone, presses the button because she knows that the only person that could really make that decision for these life forms is someone who's also brought into this world like them.
Mm-hmm.
And that is from Kingdom Come. I don't think it's directly derived, but it's from Kingdom Come, where it's like, do humans survive or do superheroes survive? And Captain Marvel lives both as human and as superhero. And so he makes the decision. Superman doesn't, Batman doesn't. Batman's a human, Superman is a metahuman. But Captain Marvel makes a decision. And I think that's the great thing. It's like in Pokemon, like Mewtwo makes a decision, like us clones, we're going to leave
I
this
dug
land.
that a lot. I like the
Like-
fact that she hit the button.
Question: when did you see the twist coming? I'm always curious.
Oh,
about those
when
kind of
the moment he
things.
said, "You look just like her."
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I was like, "What? Why?"
He
you got-"
almost says,
Well, okay, so I mean,
mirror image. Is that what the phrase he uses?
Yeah.
Something like that.
so a phrase that we've used in prior episodes is this is a fucking pompous, pretentious film guy, film language. When I'm writing something and then all of a sudden it zooms into like on June 11th, 1901. Like it's like, all right, that fucking means something. When he says spitting image, it goes right to his face. I'm like, God damn. Apparently that's an important line.
Yeah.
So I guess I should look into that.
Here's the thing.
Probably.
I tend to overthink things,
Hmm.
and
Well-
I also didn't see it coming
Mhm.
because I was convinced that it was the daughter of someone important from a previous.
That's what we
Jurassic Park movie.
wanted.
That's what,
Yeah.
that's all
But
we
that's
wanted.
not what
I
I
know.
knew was going to happen.
But I was like, throughout the entire thing,
Trevor,
whenever,
like when he
whenever there
references,
was a
like,
lull,
yeah, she's been to the park.
whenever there was a lull, I was like, is that a name that I should have remembered? And that was part of me. I was like, I was
Oh,
doubting
Lockwood?
myself. Like, does Lockwood? Was there someone named
Yeah.
Lockwood in the? Like, I was trying to remember.
He was retconned in.
John Lockwood. He was
Yeah.
there.
You remember how many times John Hammond mentioned him?
but no, so yeah, I saw
That's
from
why I
the
didn't see it
moment he said, "You have the very image of her." I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
all
So
right."
Ollie, it was until the twist happened that
Yeah, I don't know.
you didn't know up
I don't
until
know.
then.
Even when she looked at a photograph of her that looked identical, I was like, oh, that's just like your mom that looked like very similar.
I raised both of them.
It's like, yeah, you're a spitting
Honestly,
image of your mom.
I
That
had the
happens.
same. I
But
had
then
the same
it's also
thing.
the Hollywood bias of being like, they're not going to hire a different actress to be in the photograph
Uh-huh.
of her mom.
Right.
Like that was kind of like, okay, maybe her hair would be a little different.
You went immediately to payroll. You're like,
Yeah.
they're not gonna pay for that.
They're not going to pay for that. So to me, and that's just part of like Hollywood. Sometimes you're kind of victim to
Yeah,
that.
no,
There's
no,
nothing
no,
you
I
can really
understand.
do.
I mean, they have the budget, but why would they?
Yeah.
I mean, she actually is a twin.
Josh,
I'm
so that was the same for you.
Yeah, no, I didn't. It didn't catch it. Like even when they showed the photo, I was like,
Yeah.
wow, damn, she
They
looks a
look
lot
spitting
like her
image.
mom.
He was
See,
right.
the only reason that I figured it out only at the photo because
now she wearing another.
of the like nanny.
Charlie
that-
Chaplin's granddaughter.
What?
That's Charlie Chaplin's granddaughter.
No way.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That'd be
Fun
cool.
fact.
There's
But yeah, like the way that she was, like the younger version of her was standing and the way that her hair was done matched how it was current day. So that was the only thing where I was like, it's a clone.
Yeah.
But that was the only time because if it wasn't for that exact moment, I would have never known. But then after that, it was the photo and it was him saying, my heart. Because that's like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That was a specific, that's a very specific usage of that word.
Mhm.
I will say, although I think that is probably my favorite part when she presses the button, I literally whispered to my roommate and I was like, if they don't press that button, there's no third movie. I was like, this is the third movie right here. Like, if this doesn't happen, no third movie. And then she doesn't press the button. I was like, no third movie. And she was like, that had to be.
There
third
it
movie.
is.
There it is.
Well, you know, the third movie is directed by Michael Bay, and they've created the Anti-Dinosaur Task Force.
Mhm.
They've got dinosaur detectors all around.
That was the actual premise for 4.
Dinobots roll
That's awful.
That's why.
Oh my God.
That's why a lot of people thought she was part dinosaur. Mainly, well, that and how it was shot because they kept shooting all the scenes of her before she's like really introduced with the same shots they used on the dinosaur's eyes and how they moved and stuff. So people thought that in order to clone it, they had used almost the same technique, and that she was
Mhm.
actually part dinosaur.
Which,
Part dinosaur.
would you have been okay with that?
I don't know. It wasn't my issue. My issue wasn't with the twist. It was how it was explained.
Oh yeah.
I didn't
I
like how it
really
was just like,
wanted the-
she's a clone dinosaur. I was like, whoa. I would have liked them to find out a different way, I guess.
Monologuing villain.
Yeah, monologuing villain.
Yeah, I had wanted the Indoraptor to like come up to her room and sniff her and be like, "Oh, it's you."
I also really wish they would have done something more with Blue having T-Rex blood now. Like the T-Rex, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, it's not highly adaptive DNA where it's like, now I small arms and big thighs.
No, not her changing. I'm saying interacting with the T-Rex at that point.
I mean, did it have a chance to interact with the T-Rex?
That's what I'm saying. I wish they would have at
Yeah,
that point.
that
The
would've been
T-Rex
cool.
could have sniffed her and been
One
like,
small before we move on.
Because they are
Well, we should
part
be doing
amphibian
favorite
that
parts
can.
Oh.
Before we move on, small qualm, Indosaurus,
Indoraptor.
Indoraptor, whatever the hell. I didn't like. It was two
Whatever
things
the
back
hell.
to back that kind of made it seem a little. It was a little cartoonish, of him fainting the way he did.
Oh, playing
then-
possum.
Yeah, playing
first time.
possum, and then
Oh, and the tail coming up, coming down.
"Oh my god,
Not
the
that.
smile!
the smile in his eye
I
opening for a
love
second.
the smile.
was
That
like,
was my favorite.
Is this a fucking cartoon?
Yes,
It's not.
I loved it.
He's like, he's not gonna get me.
All right, favorite parts.
Favorite part. So
Favorite
I already
parts.
went mine. Every part with Macy in it. I think to me she stole the film. Like, again, I don't give a shit about kids who are pointless, but this kid's like sneak level is on fleek, lock picking levels on fleek, parkour levels on fleek. I was like, you know what? And she's smart. She's like, yo, I'm gonna tell my grandpa. Why is my grandpa got a cell phone all the way over there? I don't know why, but he's in bed all the time. And then she's like, yo, you a bad man. And she's like, hey, I'm hide this thing. I know this levy thing. I know how to get through all these things. I was like, she's so capable. She
Yeah.
take the other characters out. I don't need them anymore. The two other scientists, they're just there to respond to Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. But Macy, I want more Macy. I
More
want
vet.
a post-apocalyptic world where she's surviving and she knows the way, but she knows how to. She learns from Chris Pratt how to husbandize the dinosaurs more than he could.
Wow.
Dinosaur husbandry is what he means.
Yeah, I got
Um,
that after my brain
Husbandry.
farted trying to
Hybridized.
understand what
At
he
that
said.
word.
Yeah.
I mean, other favorite parts actually, in terms of a sequence, I actually really, really liked the shot in the pod underwater
Yeah.
because it was a one take.
I wasn't saying that I didn't like it.
Yeah,
I was
but you're
saying
saying you
it was
noticed
an
it.
observation of like a
To
lot
me,
of movies had it.
To me, it's a matter of utilize the mechanism in your favor. Tell the story cool in a way that it works in your favor. So like the moment they're
Putting
under,
you in the pod.
they're in the water, and then you're there with Bryce Dallas Howard and
As the water's
fucking
filling up.
Nerd Boy, and it just doesn't cut. It just goes back and forth and
Mhm.
rotates around, and you're like, oh, and then the
Chris
entire
Pratt
time
comes in and out.
the water comes up. I'm like, this is cool. This is good.
Yeah.
This is good sequence
I like that. I like that they brought the pod back into it somehow, and like
in a good way.
in a good way, in
Yeah.
a clever way. And I was like, oh, this
Clever
is
girl.
kind of cool. Like this is like a sequence.
Mhm.
I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna fill up with water. It's not waterproof. Oh no,
The
And
lava
then
coming through and like
yeah,
busting
yeah,
a
Melting
hole in it.
yeah.
things.
That was so. I was like, this is kind of.
I dug it.
But I mean, one takes are now also becoming a cliche of the industry. But like
It was
utilize,
stitched together though.
yeah, but utilize shooting it in a way where it's supposed to be like
There it was
the reason.
right.
The reason
Yeah.
why is because you're supposed to have the same tension as they feel.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a cut is supposed to give you like a chance to breathe,
Anyone else hold their breath when she says take a deep breath? And
I do.
anytime they're in a movie and they're like,
Nope.
hold your breath, I go,
and they're underwater. Yeah,
can I do it? Would I survive?
yeah, I do that. I do that a lot. I do
And I
that.
did. I was like, wow,
I-
plenty of time.
I've done that ever since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Every
time.
And I die every
NorCal.
time.
NorCal life. It's a NorCal thing. Don't worry
He
about
woke up after the.
yeah,
It's
it's
like,
where all the mansion is.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
NorCal. But yeah, Macy parts and her making the decision for pressing the button, and then also that pod part.
Mhm.
But goddamn, I hate that fucking bar scene.
it. Judge what?
I loved the beginning scene.
You love the bar scene?
No.
The bar
No.
scene was so
It
good.
was so good. No, I loved
Did
the.
you buy any or did you bring them? We're going somewhere.
That beer
What a
looked
guy.
cold.
I really like the first scene.
Labels out. Sorry, go ahead.
I really like the first scene. It was very, very like
Classic.
classic. I was like, it was almost like dun, 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 Jurassic Park. Like
Yeah.
it was like, wow, this is so Jurassic Park, but I loved it. It was raining. It was
Even
dark.
had a yellow
Oh,
coat
man.
on.
When you see the shot of the pod from the front and it lights up for a second in the
Yeah.
back and you just see it looming there,
Mm.
Yeah,
I loved that.
So good.
in that part specifically, not how it was shot and everything. I did like how they're the first thing is like the D Rex. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, they're gonna expand upon that.
Oh my god.
And
I hair touched my neck and I thought it was a bug.
You thought it was an
I'm
Indoraptor?
sorry. Yeah, I
Did
thought
you
it was a
talk about
tiny
the Indominus
Indoraptor.
Rex
Yeah.
bones?
I just liked that it was like, oh, okay, you're gonna acknowledge that last one at least, so it feels a little bit more of a continuation.
Mhm.
But then like I really wanted to see what they were gonna go more with it. So I mean, I was like, okay, fucking go right into it, baby. Like, let's see it. I was like, I'm ready to buckle up, baby. You know. So
Yeah. But I love that. It was the whole scene was very cool. Like him getting away, I was like, he's not gonna get away.
Nah.
Wait for it. Wait.
Yeah.
There it is.
but to a point, like again, it's cheesy, it's classic, it's
Oh, no,
cliche,
it's-
but then it does it leans really well
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Jurassic Park, it's kind of cheesy. It's oh my
Which-
gosh. kinda
Which I
cheesy.
really missed in this, actually.
And I feel like it'd be interesting to do an analysis of like the transfer between of like
Parks and world?
between Park and then the world of like I mean, even Jurassic World can be called a little bit cheesy, actually
Of
a
course.
lot cheesy. But I really like that first scene. I did really like it was so stupid, but it was a call out to the first one, the Margaritaville sign.
Oh, okay.
I was like, ha. And my dad loves Margaritaville, so I was just like, ha.
Jimmy Buffett's in the first one.
Yeah.
It's the guy running with 2 margaritas.
I think that's the point. That it's his,
Yeah.
like,
Karen,
This is just favorite parts, right?
favorite parts.
Okay. Anytime there was giant fucking monster. I like the underwater thing.
Did you like the little lava part where like he was coming in and there was like it was cornering them?
What?
In the
When they were in
little
the bunker?
research room? It was like, oh my god, it's a
No,
T-Rex.
no, no. I like giant aquatic monsters.
Oh, so
Like-
anti-Dana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my
Well-
wife was terrified of that part.
I'm
She has
I'm-
submechanophobia, so no
I
big deal.
don't what?
Shout out.
Submechanophobia. It's
What does that
technically
mean?
where you're afraid of like giant man-made things underwater, but it also applies to just like giant things underwater.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like yeah, when it's lit up when they're in the little submarine getting the bone and it's lit up with the lightning, I was like, yes, eat
Mhm.
them. And then when it
When the
shows
people
up,
are surfing.
he did.
The surfing.
I know. The surfing and the thing comes up in the wave and he's just like, munch. You're just it was a wonderful moment. I mean, not for the guy, obviously, but I don't know. What
I agree. Those were like
the Star Wars movie where they're in the little submarine.
Woo, where do
and
we
then there's
start?
I know.
Okay, got
no,
it.
no, no.
Phantom Menace.
Yes, where they're
Big Cooper
underwater.
fish.
Yeah, and
There's always a
there's the
bigger
big
fish.
thing that's chasing them, and then
There's
there's
always
the
a bigger
bigger
fish.
fish that's chasing
Spoilers.
them.
Pause this episode,
oh,
everyone.
Oh my god.
Go watch Phantom Menace now. Hurry.
I don't know
Really? Big
why.
Cooper fish.
I don't know why I like that, but
Right?
I just love it when they're horrifying giant monsters in the ocean.
That's okay. Yeah,
No, I
you're
love it.
welcome here too.
That,
Well,
thanks,
when it got
Corey.
out, I was
That's
like,
like the second or third time you said that to me specifically
I've
today.
said it to everybody today.
I'm starting to feel a little
hasn't said it to
targeted
me.
right now.
I just wanted to make sure.
Thanks.
No one said it to me yet, so I'm fishing.
Well, you're
No pun
welcome
intended.
here too, Corey.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just stick with that because I'm gonna gush about a bunch of stuff later.
Then do it.
Yeah,
Ollie Oxenfree.
later.
I need to give a shout
do
out
it.
to Chris Pratt's little bits of physical comedy
Yes.
when the lava was coming in.
Oh yeah, the Wolf of
Yeah.
Wall Street thing.
yeah,
yeah.
the Quaalude scene.
Yeah.
What?
So in Wolf of Wall Street, he takes like
about
Leonardo DiCaprio is like paralyzed the same way and tries to get into his car, and it's the exact same sequence.
Oh,
That,
huh.
but on a more serious note, it's the dinosaur being left behind on the dock.
Yeah, that was
Got
your
me.
favorite part.
It got me.
Yeah.
Also,
Visually.
It was rough.
I don't know.
It was rough.
I got a couple. I loved. I
Wait,
I
what?
wish. I wish.
Do you have some?
Yeah.
That's
I
weird.
wish there was more moments of Chris Pratt doing the like. If I don't come back, remember
Oh,
you're the one who made me come here.
Trump
Like that. Like the like you said, it's very Indiana Jones. Very like.
more
Han-
Indiana Jones, less
Han
Star
Solo.
Lord.
Yeah. I wish there were more moments of him like that. Like the. Is it in my mouth? Mm-mm. You're good. Like those. Those are where he.
and him sticking the
shines.
thumb up from behind the
I was
T-Rex.
gonna say, one of my-
Hopping through the teeth.
One of my favorite moments is the when they're trying to get the blood from the T-Rex. I loved that whole little sequence. I thought that was put together so well. It had a lot of the stuff that I loved from the first Jurassic Park film,
the little
like
dance
you said, the
part.
cheesy, like the spit getting stuck on him. Like they've kind of shied away from the gross part of dinosaurs that you see a lot of in the first film, right? Where she's like
Mhm.
picking boils off its tongue and
Or
digging,
going into the poo poo.
yeah, digging through piles of shit.
Poo-poo.
Like it's not pretty. Dinosaurs are not pretty. They're giant dogs.
Well, animal like care is not.
Yeah,
pretty.
and so like that whole scene where he gets all the spit on his face, like I loved that. It waking up and having to dive through, like those are the little moments that make me go like, oh yeah, I love Jurassic Park. I love these movies. Like at the end, the dude getting picked up and tossed by the pterodactyl onto the car. I love those moments. Like that's the kind of shit I'm just like, oh my god, I love dinosaurs so much.
I
love
dinosaurs
Corey Powers,
so
I
much.
love red and
the
Velociraptors
scene that
are
made me
best.
laugh the hardest though is when they let the Pachia, I can't remember the full name, but the one with the dome
bit, yeah,
head,
yeah.
and it's
Oh
just
yeah.
tossing people in that are all these millionaires and on black market guys, and it's just like having a field day. I could not stop laughing at people just getting tossed.
I liked when he got out of the cage and he hit the metal pole.
Shook it
Kind of
off.
like,
Yeah,
what
you're
the fuck?
welcome.
and that was another cartoon moment.
Yeah,
I was more okay with that.
Oh, the smile. I forgot
but
to
that-
say
the
that the
smile
smile
was
was
just a little-
one of my favorite parts.
That was it.
that whole sequence, anything where dinosaurs were kind of like
Sticking to
acting
the
like
man.
dinosaurs and just being like acting on instinct, I really loved.
Hmm.
I just wish, and the other thing, I just wish Chris Pratt had more play.
Yeah,
I wish
that's
his
my
character was
point.
just written
That was
so
it.
much better.
That's why I
and
dedicated mine
to
to
Ollie's
him.
point, one of the main things that really stuck out for me is that part, your favorite part, because to me that was the most emotionally wrecked I felt, and wrecked in a bad way. Like it was the most real I felt.
Mm.
No other part like made me feel like excited like you did with the other parts, or happy when the smile happened or anything like that. Like that part was more true, and I felt bad because humans couldn't do that for me.
So like
Mhm.
people want Jurassic Park to be like popcorny and fun and like a good like family romp or whatever the hell. But like for me, making it more like a Lord of the Rings-ish is what I really liked. So like that's why I've been talking about the imagery of it so
So
much.
you like
The imagery was great.
And,
you
like-
like Big Feet?
Mount Doom.
Like it got real.
Yeah.
In that moment.
I love
Yeah.
the imagery of the lava separating them from the
Yes.
dinosaur.
Yes.
from the-
like that stuff, all of it, like it looked incredible.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
One quick thing before we get into favorite character and favorite dinosaur. Was that truck the one? We're back in the car.
Well, no, because this is
No,
a
it's
different island.
Oh, so which was the first one?
I mean, that is the same island. Technically,
Isla,
yes.
Isla
it is-
Nublar is the first one, and then Isla.
It is the same
other one
island.
is.
It could be. I'd have to look more into
'Cause it was
I don't know.
upside down.
Isla Nublar. Oh, see,
No,
this is
because
that
remember
one.
in the first Jurassic World, they go to the other side of the island, and it's the entire rundown old park.
Yeah, it's
in
it's
the
same as
first
the first
Jurassic
movie.
World. They get to the
Oh,
part
I'm
where
sorry. I was thinking you were referencing Jurassic Park 1.
Mhm.
Right? We're
Yeah,
back in the
in the
truck.
car.
Yeah.
That was Isla Nublar, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
the
the-
same
it's the island
island
they're
that
on.
Jurassic World was on.
I thought this was Isla Sorna.
No, this
I
is-
remember them
this-
saying
no, this-
we're
this is Nublar.
at Isla Sorna.
This is 100%
Okay.
Nublar.
All right.
Because they go to the, I mean, at least in Jurassic, I know this for a fact, Jurassic World 1, where the park is
Mhm.
the same island as where the old park is, because half the movie they spend in the old park.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, because
So-
somebody actually said something like at Isla Sorna, like we're at, like it was something like that in one of the first few scenes, and that's why I'm
'Cause I know
so
in the
confused right
I
first-
now.
know like the ferries and stuff and the flags say
Yeah.
Isla Nublar.
But to your point,
Yeah.
that would be fucking awesome
would
if
hope
it
so.
was.
So.
That'd be
Anyways,
really cool.
so now favorite characters and favorite dinosaur.
I don't think it is, because that would be at the trunk of a tree, and it's not. It's just kind of in that open area,
It's next to a tree.
but it's not in the. It's in the
Rain,
crevice of
baby.
the trunk.
Weather
Let me
is a
have it,
strange
Corey.
thing.
Rain. That's his argument.
Erosion.
Rain. Weather.
Mudslides.
So favorite character and favorite dinosaur. Caitlin.
Franklin,
Franklin. Who's Franklin?
The scientist.
Oh,
or
the
the,
sci-
the hacker.
Scientist.
the hacker.
I plug cables.
He was my favorite character.
Okay.
What?
But is it a T-Rex?
No.
That was his like
That was his thing. Is
Oh.
it a T-Rex?
yeah. I
1 out of
didn't
40 words
think
in his
that
mouth
was-
is it a T-Rex?
I didn't think that was as funny. I like the rest of
Mhm.
not that. Dinosaur. I
Basilosaurus.
don't know.
Basilosaurus, no? The big one in the
I
water?
do like the one that. This is like random completely, but the one that licked Chris Pratt's face to wake him up.
Triceratops?
Was it a
I
Triceratops?
believe so.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, that one then. Just because it
That
was like,
one.
hey, buddy, it's time to wake up because lava's gonna melt your face. Maybe you
Almost
should
kills
probably
him.
get up.
No more naps right now.
Yeah,
We gotta go, bud.
yeah. It was just like a very like.
And then
I
he's
like you,
like,
dinosaur.
All right, it's not waking up. All right, bye.
Yeah,
I'm
Good
gonna-
luck.
I'm gonna
See
get-
you on the boat.
yeah. I don't know why, but I really liked that dinosaur
Yeah.
just for that interaction.
That's fair.
But Franklin, I liked just because he was so like hapless and, but he still made it.
Yeah,
Like,
he did.
When he left, they're like, he's done
I think
for.
I
It's
may
all
have
over.
liked him more if they didn't write him out for 40 minutes. Because they were like, remember he
I-
gets
he gets, like,
conned into
caught.
it, and Chris Pratt goes, "I'll get him back." Does not get him back.
Well, I actually kind of like that he was gone for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And then came back as a scientist in the lab with the full coat and like hair thing and
Yeah.
everything, because that tells me
Like
that
his misadventures got him
his
there.
misadventures.
But I would have loved to
like,
see him. Is my point.
There's like a web series somewhere.
I
For
get
me,
that.
I didn't have an attachment to him because he just left, and then he showed up, and I was like, "Oh, that fucking guy." I forgot.
Oh well, I got attached to him, and then when he showed up again, I was like, wow, you found like your go get him to like get through all of that shit, and now you're here. I don't know how the fuck you got here, but good on you,
Yeah.
man. So I don't know. I liked him, and I thought he was funny, but
Oh yeah, action free.
The
Apatosaurus
character
in the
I
lava.
enjoyed the most, and
Was
listen to what I
was
said.
the volcano?
The character I enjoyed the most
B.E.
was
Wong.
Zia Rodriguez,
Yes, the vet.
the vet.
Yeah.
But because of the other issues that we've gone over, and I won't go over them again, she was not very well developed, and she was like a side character,
Mhm.
and I was bummed about that.
She
So
should've been
by
more.
default, my favorite character is Chris Pratt.
You like a dummy.
I love a dummy. That
'Cause
line
he's
was
not even in the line
movie.
in the movie.
I was sad. I was like, you
But no
said,
one- but no
you
one
said
gets mad about it.
ventriloquist for no reason then.
But
Yeah.
You could have cut that part out too.
But
Yeah.
No one gets mad at that.
I'm mad about it.
Critics don't.
Oh,
I'm
I'm mad
upset.
about that and never hearing life finds a way.
I heard ventriloquist and actually forgot that the "you love a dummy" part, and then when he said that, I was like, "That's the strangest thing to say."
That's a real weird conclusion to jump to.
Yeah, and then there was no follow up. So if they'd
Yeah.
left it in, it would have been.
What if she was just like, "Yes, he is ventriloquist. He's doing really well."
Yeah, it's really great.
His name is
Jeff Dunham.
Jeff Dunham.
He's
I'm
from
always
the community
unprepared
center
for Corey
the
making me
kids.
laugh, but it works.
Core.
Core
Pal.
Did I say dinosaur?
Nope,
No.
you didn't.
No.
hurry up.
Corey, shush.
Shush. him.
Tom's actually being selfish because he has to listen to this and QC it within hours.
old baby blue.
Baby Blue?
Baby Blue?
Are you
Baby
talking about
Blue.
who I am?
baby, like specifically baby blue.
Yeah.
Baby
Yeah.
Blue is really cute.
Baby blue reminded me of my cat.
Sherm. Him? Her?
Her.
Was cute.
Sherm.
To her.
Tell you.
The lady.
They're all
Whoa,
ladies
whoa,
first.
whoa.
Whoa. Yeah, I like
The
that.
vet for me. I would have loved
Yeah.
to see more of her.
Yeah.
I think she could have been the new. I honestly think she could have been the new Ellie Sadler if they had let her.
Yeah.
And
But
I
then
think
that
the
means-
franchise
Well
is
cast.
desperately in need of it because Claire's not.
Because that means they would just remove her from the franchise and then have her
Claire?
have a kid.
Have her
and
have
then
a
have
kid.
her get married to
No,
not
I'm
Alan
specifically
Grant.
talking about the
I know,
first
I know,
movie.
I'm just
But yes, exactly. I'd like to see her in the next movie with a kid and not care.
yeah.
I think my favorite dinosaur is the. God, what was it called? Pachy.
Is it the one that rams his head?
Yeah, that like Pachycephalosaurus. Pachycephalosaurus made my day
You should get that checked out.
because you don't get to see those. They like no one really makes
got it,
movies
Tom.
about those dinosaurs because they're just like they hit things.
But
they
they were
make-
in the Lost World.
Yeah.
And they did a couple of little things.
Little
where they make-
moments.
Yeah.
Pokemon out of them.
Yeah,
And that's
Yeah.
what
they did.
matters.
Everything that dinosaur did, I loved.
Yeah, that he was.
There wasn't a moment where I was like, I don't like this dinosaur. The whole time I was like,
This dinosaur is stupid.
I like this dinosaur a lot.
You're
He
like
gets it.
you were like I would. This would be my companion.
Yeah, I just imagine me walking around with him, being like,
Isn't their
"What's up?"
skull like several inches thick?
really thick?
Mhm.
I mean, dinosaurs had brains like the size of peas,
Yeah.
Wow.
and so the most of that was skull.
So the size of American brains.
It's actually like
Wow.
exposed bone, I believe.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
It's
that was.
hardcore.
I think that was my favorite dinosaur.
That's
Baby Blue comes in a close
horrifying.
second.
I mean, it's Macy, little clone girl, Mewtwo. And then
Oh my
favorite
God.
dino is, I mean, I just love the T-Rex. T-Rex is
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
great.
I wish we got more T-Rex.
I mean, it's a new franchise. It's a new trilogy. So T-Rex is the hero of the original trilogy. The blue is the hero of this one. It's fine.
Sweet Baby Blue.
Except the T-Rex was still the hero of this franchise.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool.
Saved lives a couple times.
And it's the same T-Rex from
So
the first movie.
if
Yeah.
I had
It's
to
fun.
pick, it's probably the
Baby Blue.
new toy. Indoraptor. Because I mean, I'm
Oh.
like,
boy.
I would love. I mean, the
But it's a
Tom.
prototype.
the 9-year-old in me is like, I want that toy. I want a white T-Rex. I want a white raptor because you know what it reminded me of?
But it's not white.
Deepole. It's
I
gray.
wanted him to be
I thought
all
it's
gold.
black and yellow.
No, it's got like whitish on it.
I wanted him to be all gold, but with a black
That's
streak.
I wanted to be
yellow,
I wanted to be
Corey, I know.
rose gold. But
Rose
it
gold.
reminded me of
Oh my God.
Dinobot in
Oh.
Beast Wars
My God.
when he goes Transmetal 2 and he gets white and red, and I was like, this is badass. But I mean, it's whatever. And then you know what's weird? This was the first raptor in this trilogy or in this franchise to have like feathery things. They established that in Jurassic Park 3, and then
Oh,
also
yeah.
just no more.
Was blue? Well, I mean,
Blue doesn't
he had him.
have anything. It's
Well,
just
they had
blue.
different-
Well, they
kind of-
retconned it in Jurassic World 1.
Well, yeah, where
Because
it's
he's like, we don't make dinosaurs. We make what people want to see.
I would have wanted to see some spikes in the bad boy. You know what I'm saying? I want to
Yeah.
see some, longer arms, maybe.
Well, Jurassic Park 3 was also letting
He had longer arms.
dinosaurs
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
evolve, so to speak, or develop. So,
They were all
Was it my turn?
spawning. Yes, Josh or Josh.
I mean, Chris Pratt is always going to be my favorite in almost anything that he does. He's my man, my
Mhm.
man crush always.
Yep.
Even letting Thanos win.
Yeah, I heart him. But I also liked James Cromwell's character, the old guy.
Yeah.
There are a lot of like little characters that I was like, oh, Maisie, I love.
There was one funny thing that I was like, he's dying. His accent went away.
Yeah, even the bad guy Hunter was kind of fun to watch
Well, okay,
because
so
he was just so
y'all-
cliche. You're
so
like,
y'all see him from Silence of the Lambs. I
Oh,
see
yeah.
him.
Drank me
I
so
see-
hard.
I
from
see
Monk.
him from Monk,
Ugh.
and I fucking love Stottlemyre. And so I'm like, oh, it's my boy. I love this man. I don't give a fuck if he's a bad guy. Go ahead.
favorite dino. I'm gonna go cliche, go old school, and say T-Rex.
There you go.
Every time T-Rex is on screen, I'm
It's
just
exciting.
like, and when they do the like
The roar.
the roar, I'm
Well,
like,
the roar with the line was kind of cool.
I loved
yes.
that. I loved that
See,
shot.
there's a
Kings
moment.
of
I loved that shot.
eras. Kings of two eras.
I was like, oh, damn.
I do want to note something because I think this is a longer episode, but isn't it interesting? Like in terms of development of characters, BD Wong's character, like
Love it.
he like
Love it.
in the first one he was like megalomaniac, Dr. Wily, fucking like Mega Man shit, and then also in this one he's like, no, you need to like this is a process.
He's
It's
still
like
got
grow-
some integrity.
like
Yeah.
he understands
Some.
like his devil hands are like, but you need to nurture it with nature correctly, and so like it was cool to see that. But then at the end he's like, give me 20 cc's of this blood. There, I'm like, all right, I'm cool with that. Like Asian man in charge, you know what I'm saying?
I think he was, again, woefully underutilizing this. I would love to
Slept on.
see more of him.
Well, it'd be
I think
I
he's
think in the
great.
first one we didn't get enough to establish like a baseline.
well, he was just
we
he was-
saw him in that one situation.
It was so weird because in the first Jurassic Park, he's there. He's like, we make dinosaurs here. This is a T-Rex, blah, 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 right? And then like in this one, he's like, yo, black suit, I run this thing. Verizon Wireless Raptor Saurus Rex. And then it's like, damn, what
He
happened,
didn't
baby?
say that, but okay.
Like, you just like went hella evil out of nowhere, right? And it's like, whatever, this new
well, he's
world.
had time.
Yeah.
He's had
John
time
Hammond
to.
kind of left him for dead.
Yeah.
So
And then
So there's that.
and then this one is just like, okay, he has his humanity back. So in a third one, again, we don't speculate, but like, I would love to see him have more play as part of like maybe a reason of what's going to happen next. It's either going to be dinosaurs will have to get hunted down, or
he got out of there safely.
or humans will go extinct. But I would want him and then a member of the Trinity to be involved.
So like Malcolm
One of them.
Sadler or Grant.
One of them.
Me too.
And then all of them die because you have to pass the torch on.
How fun would it be to get Malcolm or Grant opposite Chris Pratt?
That'd be amazing.
Or maybe all three. I don't care.
But then all three have to die.
No.
Oh.
Mr.
Incorrect.
Stark
No.
Pass the
That's
torch.
not how these movies
No.
work.
Pass the torch.
That is
baby.
not
You can
Jurassic
pass
Park.
it without
Pass it as a
murdering
martyr.
people.
As a
Mr. Grant,
martyr.
I don't feel so well.
Oh
All right. I think we went pretty deep with everything. We gushed. We analyzed with our analyze. And
Can I guess just one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
I
Oh.
have always since so as we know, I am one of the few on this planet that was okay with the Lost World. One of my things about the Lost World that I liked is that they introduced the dinosaur into real life,
Yes.
into San
Oh,
Diego.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
for this one, I was like, wait a minute, guys, we're gonna get dinosaurs in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and like
Well,
again,
Northern
we're not
California.
speculating, but it's like and that's not the world.
Northern California.
I love the idea of dinosaurs. I mean, yeah, it's not that many dinosaurs, but you give them some time.
But again, going with
San Francisco.
what they built
Yeah.
upon that I liked so much is that they start out as females and then they change sex to become male so they can procreate.
So I like the
Mhm.
idea of a dinosaur apocalypse.
Me too.
My fan fiction takes place in San Francisco.
Oh,
The
dang.
second one.
I was actually really uncomfortable when dinosaurs were hanging out in Vegas and like California. I was like,
Spoilers.
oh
It's
my
post-credits.
I will
God.
say I do wish it was
Wait, what?
a separate movie.
There was a post-credit scene.
Are you
Yeah.
kidding?
No, the
No, I'm mad
pterodactyls.
about this. I heard about this
The
after I left the
pterodactyl.
film.
It's the only
It's
post-credit scene
6
is
seconds long,
pterodactyls land on the Eiffel Tower
In Vegas.
and then
and then it ends.
So have you seen that movie Flintstones Viva Rock Vegas? That's what happens.
that's what happened.
This
It's a
is
Flintstones
actually
tie-in.
yeah.
Prequel to
I'm sad.
Flintstone. Well, I mean, there's actually a fan theory that
Was
the
it all the way
Flintstone
at the
takes
end?
place in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
because that's
know.
why they have
yeah,
cars.
one of our patrons actually said in the
Josh,
Discord.
I
that
do.
to
I'm
make
agree
sure you
with you,
watch
Josh.
till
I
the
do
end
like
because there were
Oh, I
post-credit
missed
scenes.
that.
I do like the idea
Or
of,
scene.
of letting them play in the world and seeing how we're gonna adapt, especially if it's like 2 years in the future when we've
Yeah.
really had to get there. I do miss something I love about the Jurassic Park movies is that each of them do tie up at the end, and for me, I think I missed that here with the open ending,
Gotcha.
with the we're Hollywood, we make sequels now kind of thing.
yeah,
Does that make sense?
it's a machine.
Yeah, like each of the original ones and Jurassic World, there's always that like what if there, but
Yeah.
it's not quite like, hey guys, we didn't finish everything.
What one thing I do want to say also a gush too is at the very end when they're driving in the car and they look over and it's pterodactyls. I was like, oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
a nice little reference.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, okay. It would have been cool if like
but I am excited
put
for
your
the next
seatbelt
one.
on. But
I am excited what they've
Yeah.
set up.
I'm excited to see what happens.
Planet of
Yeah.
the Apes meets Jurassic Park. I'm in.
I'm gonna see every Jurassic Park movie that comes out. Like
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
I'm really excited for when like they combine raptors and humans, and then it's just like a person with a raptor mouth
I'm about it too.
and a tail.
I'm gonna say like this. In
That's a nice mental
Batman
picture.
Beyond, there's a thing called splicing, and they put animal DNA into humans, and it's like super. It's cool. It's a thing.
Yeah, I'll have a skinny no foam.
I'm ready.
But
Yeah, I feel complete.
So now
I feel-
rating.
I'm just kidding.
The F.
I feel like I need to rate this.
so right.
Yeah.
I'll go first. I think I'm Mr. Neutral.
Okay,
Um,
well, give yourself a title. Why don't you?
I think I did.
I
He
don't
already
think-
did.
I
He's
don't.
DJ
do you think
Qualms.
he's Mr. Neutral?
Mr. Neutral by day, DJ Qualms by night.
Yeah, no. I think you just titled
That's not
yourself.
true.
At the Nerd On Club. It's going down. I would say this is to me a 3.7. 3.7.
Okay.
Yeesh. All right.
It's a better popcorn flick, but it's not a masterpiece.
Mhm. Yeah.
4s are my masterpieces.
Yeah, that's where Tom draws the line. That's where I draw the
That
line.
is.
You guys
We
are
all draw
like,
our lines in different places,
The
guys.
only one-
I know.
The only one that's above a 4 in the rest of the Jurassic Park series is Jurassic Park 1, and it's a 5.
Yeah.
But that's it. Everything else is probably in 3.7, 3.8. Just saying. Not bad. I'm going to watch it. And I'm not even going to be the lowest one.
Let's
He
see.
is. That's
Yeah,
Corey.
I'm gonna
I'm
be the
pointing,
lowest
I'm
one.
pointing my finger.
I'm gonna say like a
4.4.
4.1. Just because like it was good, but
Now, I have a question. You were
I'm
not
about-
interested in watching this movie before you got to it.
no,
Are you interested in watching the next one?
more than I was in this one.
World.
There you go. Then there it is.
More than I was in this one. So
Are you gonna go back to the first world?
Jurassic World. Don't.
I mean, they kind of told me everything I needed to know. They were like, there was a big scary. It's gone now.
Some done happened here.
If you want to see
we-
Bryce Dallas Howard make just
we made
terrible
it.
decisions, then go watch the movie.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. There was.
Curious.
But also, if you want to see a cool Indominus Rex.
It's a fun movie.
If we want to have a movie night, I'll
The
watch
thing about
it.
Jurassic
but-
World is that
It's still fun.
it's 20 was it 20 years?
Uh,
Something like that.
Something like
You
that.
finally
It's
get
very
to see
fun.
the fucking park.
oh yeah,
And
Oh.
for someone who's been watching the series my entire life, that was a big moment.
the
Like a
Basilosaurus has a big
functional
Shamu.
park.
Yes.
Everybody's been working towards this. You
Everyone's
finally get
there.
a park.
So to give it credit like
and
that,
it's functioning.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
it's
the-
been running. Like
It's like
Okay.
$10,000 a ticket.
mhm.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just immediately thought of because they cut back to footage of people being picked up by pterodactyls and stuff, and I was like, good.
Good.
Hey, but what if they have like a coupon day?
Yeah.
Oh, it's only
$8,000.
$5,000.
No, it's probably still like 8.
No one
yeah.
gets reference.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Got the
The
reference?
coupon day.
Coupon day.
So 4.1.
4.1.
Oh, Alex and free. Wait, no. Josh, because you guys are you're gonna be competing.
You're competing for Grump.
I already wrote mine down.
Top Grump.
All right, we'll do this.
Ooh.
And
then-
mine's a 4.
4? Just
Yeah.
straight 4?
Yeah,
Just 4.
just that's good.
But again, everyone at home, Caitlin and Josh's ratings don't
Mean anything.
Thank you, Tom.
They don't coincide with
Yeah.
what I. What
Oh
I
my
think.
God, that's ringing in my ear.
They don't coincide with what
I don't think it needed
what I
a
put in
preference.
for.
Preface.
Well,
or
I mean,
a preference. I don't think it needs any of it.
in previous episodes, Josh was like, "Well, it's not like that, Tom. Fucking calm the fuck down." I'm like, okay,
That sounds
damn.
just like Josh.
It's just like, that is, I'm a really angry person.
You
Josh,
guys
No.
don't know this. When we don't
No.
record, that's all Josh says.
Yeah.
Or do you think we have no butts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just choose them out.
Nah,
Yeah.
dude.
Nah,
I got a butt.
All right. Okay. All right. How about at
How are
the
we gonna do
same
this?
time?
Same time?
At the same time.
All right.
Audience, this is not great for your ears.
3, 2, 1.
2.7.
Whoa.
Oh
wait,
my-
wait. You're higher than me?
Yeah.
Okay, then get out. Get out. You're dumb. Just kidding. 3.9,
2.7.
2.7.
2.7.
Is that
That's Justice League level almost.
dang?
Yeah.
Really? I thought this was
Whoa.
better put together than Justice League, I'll say.
I
What's-
agree.
What threw people off?
If it's lower than Justice League, that is accidental.
Okay.
what threw
Justice
people
League is
off
lower.
is Corey and I had the same exact
Qualms.
qualms. However,
I talked, and then you're like, you know what? I am going to go higher.
no,
I talked.
I enjoyed it.
Still,
The
just-
good things that I liked about it made me enjoy it more, despite
it
those
outweighed
things.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it didn't. That's all. So yeah, 2.7.
There we go.
Mhm.
Corey is the Grump. Everyone at home.
Who is playing?
Who's
Hope
playing?
you're
All
right.
your bets.
We need to figure out a better way to do that.
All tips are welcome. Yeah, we'll figure it out. This is our first time, baby.
No, I know, but I'm like, oh, this could be fun.
Yeah.
We could figure this out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If we all write it down beforehand,
Put it in a hat, like in a box in the middle,
yeah,
and just say, okay.
I don't know.
and then have one person read it. And Tom's is 2.7. Whoa!
Because I think that would be a little bit more mysterious. Because if we all say, oh, I think it's Corey, or oh, I think it's Ali, it's like, well, what if Corey or Ali get a stick in their butt and they're like, fuck you guys. 5.
Well, I mean, we are adults, and I don't think we would do
It's an
that.
honor system.
Are we?
Correction.
But are we?
men,
I mean,
men,
technically,
children,
yes.
men, children. But
All
yeah,
of us.
But yeah, I wrote it down before, so I couldn't change it.
you all feel complete.
I feel
I
complete.
feel
What if
complete.
it auto corrected by?
It's like 27.
Can you verify?
3.9 on notes on Ollie's phone.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You thought I was gonna be higher than you?
No, when did I say that?
I don't know. I just
Tom just assumed making an ass
It's the
out of
second
himself.
assumption you've made this whole episode.
I like to make an
aside
ass of
from
me and
boys and
umptions.
girls.
I knew
That's
you were
true.
going to be less than
Wow.
me
Okay,
because of
Film.
your acute film eye.
I am cute. Thank you.
Well, I mean, all
Everyone-
that being
Your
said,
cute
Yeah.
film eye.
and they're still talking. I feel complete.
I feel
I
complete.
do feel complete.
Do you feel complete, Tom?
Never.
We'll be here forever.
Well,
This is it. This is how we die.
This is the episode that never ends. It goes on.
We're going to
Drown your
be
babies,
extinct.
Tom. Let it go.
no. I mean, you could end it. I'll just never feel complete.
Okay.
Oh,
Fair
that's
enough.
fair.
Well, everybody at home, thank you so much for listening to our, what would you call that?
A discussion.
Fun episode.
A
Analyze.
discussion and dinosaur talk and fun times had by all.
Let us know what you think.
I mean, there were dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
How
you
could
enjoy the film?
Did you enjoy it? Comment.
Honestly, again, so the podcast, what we do is it's supplemental to your experiences.
Yeah.
So, like, watch the movie regardless of what we say.
That's why we like to make sure
Like,
the
watch the
runtime
movie
matches.
regardless of what any critics say.
Even
Make
if
your-
we say, I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Oh my god.
Wow, it really is getting later and later into the episode.
He's
Because
just
dinosaurs
squeaking
wearing
by.
hockey pads is just weird.
It would have been too much.
or it's the next movie.
I think I just had, since I was the grump, I feel like I needed to be a little more serious this episode.
Oh, okay. Got it.
But yeah, it's all supplemental. Go make your own decisions, please, and then
Yeah.
talk to us about.
Don't look
what
at
you
Rotten
think.
Yeah.
Tomatoes.
Yeah.
We love hearing comments. We just on our social media, on YouTube, if you're watching, listening there, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. We love your comments. So
Reddit.
comment away. Reddit. Yes, we
And
have a subreddit.
Even if you have qualmy qualms,
Yes.
make
Especially.
sure they're in the form of qualmy qualms and understand that civil discussion is important.
Yeah,
Yes.
if you have gripey gripes, that shit don't exist.
It ain't real.
Yeah, they don't, Ollie.
They don't find a fucking
fair
word.
Yes. Because all levels of nerd are welcome.
Yeah.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As always.
Nerd on.
Ending broadcast.